G'day everybody, I'm sorry to be a little bit late. Welcome to a Sunday night Aquariums Anonymous meeting, and tonight's theme is Go Big or Go Home. Our special guest tonight is got a little bit of a fascination with fish on the heftier size of normal. But first I'd like to say a thank you and a hello to everybody that's in the chat and meeting us tonight. We've got Pratty, we've got Ross Dingle, we've got Brendan Voss, we've got Gil, we've got Gabs, how you going? We've got John Tron, we've got Joe Hanny, and the Ginger Ninja Quaid. And Funkalicious is in the house. No, I haven't got my bottle handy. I've got my whiskey at hand here. I hope I haven't missed anybody, but welcome all to tonight's live stream. So, without further ado, let me bring our guest onto the stage. There he is. G'day, mate. How are you? Why don't you say g'day to the group and introduce yourself?
Hey, everyone. My name's Shaun or Grubby, and I'm a little bit addicted to fish. And, yeah, it's getting a little bit out of hand sometimes. So, yeah.
Mate, welcome to our Sunday night Aquariums Anonymous live stream, mate. I was very keen to get you on board because you keep a certain type of fish which at least the people that I was about to say the people that I've been meeting with and making friends with don't tend to keep, but I'm starting to venture out a bit more to some of the monster fish these days. But we're going to have you're sitting currently in your fish shed.
Yep.
And you're being very kind to give us a bit of a tour through your tanks. And before we do that, do you want to give us a quick introduction to how you got started in keeping aquariums? Who is Shaun Grubb?
I'm a person that's into too many things. I've got too many hobbies, and I can never let them go. So I've got too many things going on. I've always been into fish since I was young, keeping small fish tanks and that sort of thing. And I think when I really moved out of home is when I got my first big tank and kept like Oscars and a few of the random fish like that and cichlids and the rainbow sharks and all that. And then pretty much as soon as my wife and I bought our own house and built our own house, I sort of went a bit wild and filled the house garage up with tanks and had an 8x2 blowout in the garage, lost all the water. And then, I built my shed, and I've had this shed running probably about 10 years, 11 years now, and I've just, kept getting bigger and more and filling it out. I want to get more.
Did you build that shed specifically to keep fish, or was it a bit of a catch-all?
Oh, for everything. Yeah, it's a bit of a for everything thing. It was always just plan to have a fish tank in the corner or something like that, and one in the house, but it's turned into nearly one of the bays in the shed, and I need to extend the shed to build a fish room, which I'm thinking about doing.
Righto.
Just a dedicated fish room, but yeah.
So
sometimes.
Before we start having a look through your setup, do you want to give us basically a description in a nutshell in the kind of aquariums and the kind of fish keeping that you like to do?
Yeah, I'm all about freshwater fish, mostly South American, peacock bass, a few natives, the Geophagus, and I do like cichlids and all that, but I just need to cut down and I need to stick to one sort of species because it's a bit hard to go to everything. So mainly South Americans and all that sort of stuff now.
Okay. And how many tanks have you got going in your shed?
Not including sumps. I think there's 1, 2, 3, say 5 large aquariums. Yeah, and the rest, I've got a lot of small ones going and all that, but and sumps as well, and
Okay. All right. Well, for everybody in the chat, we do have one question before we get started, mate. It's from John. John. I'll put it up on the screen for you, mate. Hi, Mr. Grubb. Why don't you get more native fish instead of the invasive cichlids?
Oh, I would, John. They're just so dear and hard to get. I'm not really. I've had barramundi, not really into them. I don't know. I love me Saratogas, so they're one Aussie native I love. So yeah, and I do like. I've got a couple of gudgeons and things actually I've caught in dams and that, so I don't mind them. But I don't know. I just like the peacock bass, the colours and the size of them.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right. All right, mate. John Maud from Alice Springs. How you going, mate? Shaun, do you want to turn your camera around for us? And I'm thinking, I think what we decided on doing was going from the smallest fish to the largest growing fish as the way of going through your setup. But do you want to just step back a fair way maybe and then just give a bit of a brief overview of everybody with the tanks in your shed there? And then we can zero on the first tank.
What do you want to start with, smallest to largest?
Yeah.
So that's pretty well an overview.
Excellent. Righto.
The smallest fish that I sort of keep are probably these white cloud minnows. If you can see them there. They're just an easy, basic fish that I started loving, and they're so easy to breed, and they just keep going nuts. And there's a couple of Danios in there too, but yeah, majority white cloud minnows. There are a few L600s in there, but I never see them unless it's pitch black and I come down here overnight. But there are a few hiding in there. With
just as you're going, mate, with the camera, just see what you can do is just choose a spot to hold still, and then you can move to another spot to hold still. It just saves the camera shake a little bit.
Probably my hand.
Could be. You're probably nervous as all buggery because of this exciting meeting.
I am.
You could always rest your hand against the glass if you wanted to. So you got a fair group of, I kept mountain minnows as one of my first tank as a kid, a little Kmart style tank on the desk. And they were amazing little males showing off to the girls all the time. They were fantastic. Yeah, and they're the easiest fish I've ever bred. So, yeah, I don't mind them. I've got them outside in ponds as well, and they just sort of live in any temp, and they're a pretty hardy fish. So that's a pretty densely planted aquarium you got going there, mate. And to a lot of people that have, what size tank is it? A 6 foot tank? Yeah, it's a 6 by 2.5 high by 2 foot back. So that's a good size tank, which is really heavily planted. And I'm going to say that there's probably a lot of people out there that would say, oh, that tank is perfect for putting discus in, or that tank is perfect for having angelfish in, or that tank's perfect for putting pearl gouramis in, or whatever it might be. But you've chosen to put in some pretty common fish in there. What's the thought process like? Well, I just wanted to sort of plan a tank out, and I didn't think it was really growing and going very well until I was looking back at photos the other day, and you can't even see the wood now. I'm amazed how much it's grown out. Yeah. I'll probably want to put some bichir in there, I'm thinking, but then they're just going to eat everything in there. So I don't know. It sort of needs a bit of a revamp. It's been going for nearly 2 years, so it looks like you're doing mostly Microsorum, Java ferns, Anubias, and maybe a bit of sword. Yeah, pretty much. A few crypts in the front. I really do like the crypts. I wouldn't mind having the tank just for them. Do you want to tell us a bit about what the substrate is? And there's a question here from John Tron. Are you using CO2 for the tank? I am using CO2. And a lot of these needle ferns, I think I got them from John a year or so ago, actually. Mate, I'm eyeing those needle leaf Java ferns off already. I'm going to hitch up for some because they're not all that easy to come by, the needle leaf ones. Oh, really? Yeah, I think he had all of his timber and his tank was covered in them. I think I got some of them off him, and yeah, they've just sort of gone crazy in there. There's a bit of val in the back that's sort of going a bit out of control.
The substrate in there is, to be honest, I went to a local creek, and this is the sand from that creek.
Oh,
And
you
I
just dug
barely
it up?
washed it. Yeah, I just dug it up, barely washed it. It does have a few rocks in the back in the high corner there to build it up a little bit, but I barely washed the sand, put it in, and I put some of those, what are they, the aquaferts in there, and that was pretty
Yep.
much it. And just
Yeah,
let it
right.
go. Yeah.
So you basically inoculate it with a native microbiome straight from the creek.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I'm thinking if it grows there, I can, whatever's in it, there'd be some good stuff in it.
Yeah.
So I tried that. And yeah, the CO2 I use is just one of them cylinders that you mix the citric acid and the bicarb soda together, and it creates CO2.
I'm not familiar with that.
Can you see it there on the left? It's
Yeah,
I watched a few UK guys, and they sort of run them over there, and I looked into them on eBay, and they're really cheap. And that's a 5 litre one, and that, if I crank it up, it'll probably last a month. I'm flat out, but if I turn it down, it'll last probably 3 months.
Is there a reason why you didn't just choose pressurized CO2?
Cost. You got to hire a bottle and all that sort of thing. This is, I can just buy the ingredients myself and run it that way. I think it's cheaper, but a bottle would be the better way to go, I think.
Well, there's a comment here from Pratty87 that says, would that be cheaper than getting a gas cylinder from a brewery? And I was going to make the comment that I bought a couple of Keg Kings from a brewery, and they're about similar size to what you got there. And because you buy it outright, you can go down there. I think it's about $30 to get it filled up.
And how much was it to buy outright?
I'm pulling shit out of my ass here, but maybe about 140 or something.
Well, yeah, that was about 140 to buy, and then I found a place that sells bulk citric acid and bicarb soda in 25 kilo bags. So I bought that, and I've only had to buy it once, and it's been running for over a year and that now. So I don't know, maybe the same.
Just zoom in on the cylinder there, mate, so I can see. So how do you get into it?
On the top, it's flashing a bit there. It opens up on the top. That unscrews. And yeah, you can just pour your ingredients in, add water, give it a bit of a stir around, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And it's running, I don't know if you can see the gauge. It's still got a fair amount of PSI in it, and I refilled it probably a month ago.
Yeah, right. Oh, there you go. I've never heard of that, ever. Is there any other byproduct that comes out of it other than CO2?
Or when you'll clean it out, it's obviously milky water that's got citric acid and bicarb soda mixed together, but I don't think it's toxic or anything like that. I just pour it down into my grass and all that, and it seems to be fine. So no, not really.
Okay. All right. And what's the filtration setup for this tank? You got CO2 running, so I'm assuming you haven't got a sump?
No, I do. Yeah, just a 4-foot sump.
All right. So what do you do about that? You just crank the CO2, or have you got some sort of way of you've got all the returns underwater? I can see you got your sump covered up to try and trap the gas in there.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not really worried too much. I just run the CO2, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And sometimes when that bottle runs out, I might leave it for a month before I even refill it. But it was just to give the plants a little boost. Like, I'm sure if I really dedicated it to it and put it on a filter, a different filter, it'd probably go even better. But it's doing what I want it to do. So,
do you see pearling on the leaves of the plants at all?
As in the bubbles on them?
Yeah, oxygen bubbles coming off.
Sometimes, not all the time. When I recharge it, yes, everything has it. Yeah. But not all the time.
And what about fertilization, Grubby?
Pretty much just the fish waste, and every 6 months I might put some more of those Bunnings aqua fertilizer cubes Just stick a few in there, and that's pretty much it, really.
Hey, there was one ingredient for Java fern which I found out about. I think it's potassium. Potassium was really, really good for Java fern, especially if any of the Java fern has any of those sort of little holes in the leaves.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know
Yeah,
how
some of them a bit like that, yeah.
yeah, they get the little holes that sort of pinprick through and develop. All right, so what else have we got? Now, I know you're using some lights that I am curious about, and I saw that straight away when we were chatting earlier on, because I want to ask your experiences with them. I can see you got what looks to be a Kessel Tuna Sun there.
Yeah. I got that for free. That's why I've got it.
They're a good light. But
yeah, I've got it turned right down too.
Have you? But you've got a lot of you've got some other lights going on, which since we're on planted tanks, and I think they're the lights that I use as well. Do you want to go up and show us what's going up top there? Bingo.
Yeah, they're just those UFO lights, and I just got them off eBay. I think they were like $20 each. I think they might be 100 watters, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, they do the job.
Do you know what spectrum they're putting out? Are they a warm white, cool white, daylight?
The white, I think they're the white light ones. I'm pretty sure. The
Like
cool
cool
light. I think, yeah, cool white.
Okay.
I think, yeah. I've had them for a fair while now.
And obviously they grow plants.
Yeah.
Because
I put them. Sorry,
Okay.
you're right.
No, you're right.
I was going to say if I put them on the glass, they were just too powerful. I think that's why I bring them up higher, and then obviously so I can grow some stuff out the top, like with my other tanks. But you can probably get away with a smaller one just sitting on the glass. But I like the top a bit open, so then I can get in there and not have to move lights and drop lights in the water and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. How long have you had them running for?
I think this tank's been going for nearly 2 years.
So all that growth was under those two lights.
Yeah. Yep.
Beautiful. Because so I'm using the UFO lights over my what is the Saratoga tank, and I bought them locally. They're a selectable 80 watt, 100 watt, 120 watt. You can select what wattage, and then you can select warm white, cool white, or 6,500 daylight Kelvin.
Yep.
Which is the reason why I bought them, because I wanted that 6,500 Kelvin. And I'm realizing now that I need more light because I'm having issues with plant growth. But it's reassuring to see what you've got there to say that they actually work, because one of the biggest issues with big tanks, including like let's just call monster fish tanks, is being able to afford the gear, and lighting's one of the things, because it's kind of crazy. And back in the day, you'd get those Bunnings spotlights and things, but they always seem to be a little bit yellow.
Yeah, true.
You're using those same lights in other places of the shed, Grubby?
Similar. I don't think they're the same. They're just other cheap ones I found online, but they're similar. They're not the UFO. They might be square ones, I think.
Okay.
Or even Bunnings ones. I think there's Bunnings ones on one of my other tanks.
Now, one thing I was going to ask you is that when I found out, you got some Corydoras down the front there.
Yeah, there's a few. There's a heap in there, actually.
What I can see the albinos, but what are they? Bronzies or peppers?
Stir-by, and there's a lot of shrimp. Lots of shrimp in there.
Yeah, stir-by. Oh wow! God, it's all going on.
Actually, there is an Aussie native in there. There's the long-armed shrimp. There's a few of them in there. Those large shrimp I got from a dam.
Yeah, they're awesome. I reckon.
Yeah, they hardly ever come out, but he might come out.
Do you find they come out though to eat the when it's feeding time and they can smell the pellets? Yeah,
for sure.
And they've got a bad name, the long-armed shrimp. People think that they come and eat your fish, but I think it's just if people treat them like a scavenger, they obviously have to make ends meet. But if they're fed, I found they don't touch fish at all.
No, look at all the shrimp that are in. There's that many shrimp in there. You'd think they would eat them or the small fish, but no, I haven't really had them eat fish. They might eat a dead fish. If there's a dead fish, they might eat on it, but
Yeah. And the Corys, I've got a question here from the Ginger Ninja. And a comment from JohnTron62 says, if you can get a cheap cylinder, regulator, solenoid valve, pressure is cheaper if you only pay for refills. DIY kit's good for small tanks. Fair call. Sometimes you find some CO2 pressurized systems on Facebook up for sale. Daniel Witcher, how you going, buddy? Quick question for you, Grubby. The Corydoris breeding for you?
Yes, yeah. I think they're mainly the albinos breeding, but I do get eggs when I do water changes. Yeah, there's always eggs up there. I've hatched a few out, but yeah, not very many.
Have you?
I haven't really been trying very often.
Have you had success with the stir buys?
No, not yet. I've got a fair few small ones off of mate. I do have some bigger ones, but no, I don't think I have had them lay eggs yet.
Right. Okay. Because they're one of my favourites, I reckon.
Yeah, same here. I do like them.
Beautiful. Do you want to just turn your camera around, Grubby, and we'll get a couple of questions. I'll go back to one of John's ones. Do you measure the CO2 level in that tank?
No. No.
Do you ever do
that?
You don't ever do like the pH and alkalinity chart where you cross compare them and do that? No.
Not that into it. No, I haven't done that. I did buy one of those things that show the color.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't really use it. So no, I haven't really measured it. I know it's not very high because, as you said, there's not many bubbles and that in there. But yeah, I'm not too worried about it.
How many bubbles per second in your sight valve? Bubble count.
It all depends. Sometimes I'll crank it up and get, not counting, but a fair gush of bubbles, so it's pumping, and then I might dial it back to like maybe 5 or 6 bubbles per second.
Oh, so
something like that.
It's really going.
Yeah, okay. I can. Sometimes I crank it up into a stream.
Yeah.
But yeah, not very often.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Joe Hanny over there in the UK, they use a lot of fire extinguishers for the CO2.
Yeah, well, that's pretty much what that is. It looks like a fire extinguisher cylinder sort of thing, really.
I was under the impression, though, that if you bought cylinders that were out of date, they had to be checked. Otherwise, they wouldn't be, people could refuse to fill them.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Which is the reason why I bought brand new ones, because I go back to the same brewery to get the CO2. Question from Quade, who is a saltwater keeper who is freshwater curious. This sounds like it's some sort of he's freshwater curious, Grubby.
Yeah.
So for a planted tank, what lights are the best? Is it just as complicated as marine fish tank lights? What do you think about that, mate?
I think it can be. You can pay a lot of money for lights. You know the same, but I'm all about being a tight ass and doing things as cheaply as I can. So I don't really want to spend over $200 on a light, if you know what I mean. I like to just be cheap.
Yeah. And of course, what you've shown there, not only with the Monstera growing out at the top of the tanks and the Java ferns, and I mean, obviously Java ferns and Anubias and Crips are...
Yeah, they're easy growing plants.
Easy growing plants, yeah. I found that probably one of the biggest benefits to getting dedicated freshwater lights is the spectrum that gives to show the fish off. I don't know if you've got any...
Yeah, correct, yeah.
You find that with your Kessel. If that Kessel tuna sun, you haven't got the other lights on and you play with a little bit, they've often got a lot of red and they've got a lot of green, and you can amber, and you can play with the channels a little bit to get that coloration popping from the fish, which with just warm water, cool white lights isn't always as...
Yeah, that's one thing I've found with the with the geos and all that, it doesn't show off any of the colours very well, those lights. I did get a few. A mate of mine bought a massive tank that come with lots of better quality lights that have the spectrum. They had the pink and all that. And he gave them all to me. And I have been using them on a few tanks now just as a background sort of light. And, yeah, you can see the fish a lot better.
Do you know what brand they
Better
are?
colours in it. No, I don't. No. I've got them there everywhere, but, yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're just cheap ones or what, but they have the spectrum in them. And you can change them to blue, just blue, or red, white, and all that. Yeah.
I think, Quade, the answer to your, Pratty says Chihiros are great. Chihiros is the one that I got in my shed here. Pratty, the answer is that most of the freshwater lights these days have become controllable just like the saltwater ones, but the sliders lean themselves more towards green, red, amber, and less so much the blue and the violet. But if you go to an aquarium store and you see their display tanks and they've got Chihiros or they've got Twin Stars or something like that, the fish are absolutely glowing, aren't they? Which I think is from it's from the red, I think, that does that, the warm tone.
Yeah, I don't think that tank. I did have some red plants in there, but they've sort of been outgrown, so it's just more for the green, really. But the colours aren't really coming out in the reds and all that.
I'd be curious, John, out there, mate. We haven't spoken at all, mate, but I don't really. I've seen your tank on Facebook, I think, but I'm wondering what sort of lights you use for your large tank. If you're using dedicated freshwater lights, or are you using like repurposed industrial lights or floodlights?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what he uses, but he's probably got the best carpeted tank I've seen around. It's pretty crazy, the carpet in that 8x4 too, and the whole thing's carpeted.
It's got a full carpet.
Yeah, pretty much.
What is the he might come in the chat. What's the plant that's carpeting it?
Oh, I'm not really up on my plants. I don't know, to be honest. But it's a nice carpeted plant.
So he's using Make My LEDs, which is the Australian company down. Are they in Victoria or South Australia? I think South Australia.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Make My LEDs. And what's the carpeting plant you got going, John? Comment from Daniel Witcher. He uses a few Chihiros, lovely lights, but they're pricey.
Yeah.
All right. And Quade's asking why there's a dead tree in the background. It's because Blixa japonica. It's because I had my black cocky in here before, because I was feeling guilty about having him outside in the aviary I missed a couple of nights getting him out, but he was being an absolute dick, bit me, and so I put him back in the bed. Blixa japonica. There you go. Never seen that as a carpet before. That's amazing. Beautiful.
It looks really good. Yeah. It looks really good. I like it.
Technically not a carpet, but individually planted. That's a lot of Blixa japonica. So now I know who to go to for Blixa japonica and for narrow leaf or needle leaf Java fern.
Yeah.
All right. So we've seen one tank. Is there anything in part of that tank that you want to show us before we move on, Shaun?
No, not really. That's about it, really. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, in true form, it's now time for a little segment that I need to find, and I like to call Hard Chat. Come on. You've got some very large growing fish in your care. What is the ultimate final aquarium for them?
Big as I could get, really. I'd love it. Something like what you got, that 12-footer would be good, but a bit deeper, and probably like a 12x5 would be awesome. Maybe that big outdoor pond that I want to set up, something like that. Is there ever a final pond? Is there ever a final tank? I don't think there is. Well, my final tank would be something like at SeaWorld or something like that, I suppose. That would be the best.
I also just realised the irony of asking you that question, because the only fish we've seen so far are your minnows.
Yeah. I do like them.
All right. You've got fish at both ends of the size spectrum. We can see some big boys behind you there at the moment. What's the biggest challenge in keeping the smallest fish you've got, which let's just say they're the white clouds? And in complete comparison, what's the easy part of keeping the big boys?
The easy part's really I don't know. It's all not too hard, to be honest. Lately, I'm having a little bit of dramas with high TDS and things like that. But other than that, they're pretty hardy fish. And, yeah, I don't think there is anything too hard about them. I don't know what the hardest thing would be.
Well,
maybe water changes on a large tank.
It's the easiest part of keeping the big boys and the hardest part of keeping the little ones.
The easiest part of the big boys is probably feeding them, because they all just love to eat. Well, the hardest part of small fish, I suppose, is when you lose them, you don't even realise.
Yeah.
Like, you don't see they're dead; they just start dwindling. Like, you don't realise.
Yeah.
So I could have lost a heap of fish, and I don't even know.
That's it. And if you're not, that's a really good point, because there's something similar when it comes to keeping Australian blue eyes. And I found that, like let's say honey blue eyes, they hated for me being inside aquariums, and I couldn't get them to breed in aquariums. I put them outside into a pond and they just breed straight away. But in an aquarium, unless you're replicating unless you're continually breeding the population, they're just going to dwindle out to nothing, and you've got to rebuy them.
So they probably don't have a long life expectancy either, I suppose, smaller fish.
2 years.
Yeah, so that's another thing. You notice every little blemish on a big fish, and if it's sick, and small ones, you don't sort of notice much. They might feel wholesome.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 3. You've been given, this is again, it's a selfish question. People in the chat will know why. You've been given access to a brand new aquarium. It's a random 8x4 by 2.5 foot high with a sump. What would you do with it as a display?
As a display?
Yeah, for you.
Oh, definitely make it full of stumps and driftwood and plants, and probably fill it with South American geos.
Geos?
Yeah, it's just great seeing sifting fish. I just love them.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
With that being said, that was. And why don't you take us to the geo tank?
Yeah, okay. I'll just now.
This one's going to be for Gil out there. We've got a bit of a geo fanboy.
I'll try and sit my phone up here.
Oh, you got your
got me a little tripod.
Tripod. You're getting fancy.
Yeah.
You're practically a YouTuber.
You see that?
Okay, so talk us through. I know nothing about Geophagus other than I used to keep red-haired Plecos. What have you got?
I've got a lot of the red horse face and the green horse face, and a lot of these pretty well pest fish, everyone would think. They're a Geophagus brasiliensis. I think up your way and further up, they're just going ape shit in the waterways. I can barely give them away down here. Like, I had a pair and they just bred, and they're the easiest breeding fish. I got to get them out actually. I've got,
Sorry. Yeah. Oh, so I was going to ask about the Brasiliensis. Are they?
Yeah.
Are they being traded in aquarium stores or not?
Yeah, definitely around here. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because I got a mate up in the sunny coast, and he up at Caloundra, and he goes out and he will bring home stacks of geos, Braziliensis, fishing.
Is that the guy with the ponds, tides or something?
Yep, Ty Runner.
Yeah. I have seen he's got a few in ponds as well. Yeah, I've seen how many he gets. It's crazy up there. I've been experimenting with them lately, or over the last year or two, to see how cold they can handle.
All right.
And I've had them in ponds all year round here, and the water's been below 10 degrees, and they're still living and still thriving. So I'm surprised they're not in our waterways, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you got Braziliensis, and then just talk us through the other geos you got there.
These are the threadfin hecali, the bigger sort of chunkier one here.
Okay.
They're not really a geophagus. They're sort of similar. Green horseface. I forget the scientific name for that.
Yep. And what's the one in the front with the black dot and the bit of a teardrop line along it?
This one?
Yeah, you got a stack of them in there.
That's a Braziliensis, a younger one.
Oh, so that the ones with the black dots and the dark line are Braziliensis.
Yeah, down their eye, that black line, like this one in front here, that's a Braziliensis. Yeah.
Oh, you got stacks.
Yeah, there's probably 5 in there. I've got about 20 in another tank. They need to come out of there because I just want to dedicate this tank a bit more to the better geos in there. So they're going to have to come out next time I do a big water change. A few other fish will too.
Yeah, okay. Some comments here from Gil, who's a geophagus fan. He starts by saying, fuck yeah. And then there was something about the species. I'll find it for you because, there we go. I know it was Johanny. You can't beat a full-grown geophagus spheni. I don't know what that means. What species is spheni?
Spheni is pretty much a red horse face, sort of similar to this one here.
Yep.
That's a ceramensis. So they're very hard to tell the difference between a lot of them. I think Gil keeps a lot of these. I remember him keeping the Branchibrancus, which I used to keep, and I really like them too. They get the long fin extensions. These are only all small. But yeah, a big spheni. I did have some, but they died. They are, great fish. They look very, very similar to this.
Now, Gil said that the green horseface is a Satana perca.
That's it, yeah. I do have the other green horseface, which is a Demon. They're like a more rarer one. I think that's one sifting out of that rock there. They look similar, but they get a bit more colour to them, like this one here.
All right, so I'm going to ask some questions from myself, which are very newbie questions. Are all geophagus in the genus Geophagus?
Good question.
And I'm going to follow that up. I'm going to follow that up with, can they interbreed? Because all the times I've seen geophagus, they've been separated into colonies, species colonies. You've got mixtures here.
Yeah, see, I don't think so. I've always had mixtures, and whenever they breed, they sort of pair up together. So I don't think so. I don't think they'll interbreed. I think they pair up with the same. But I might be wrong. They might crossbreed like other American fish, but I've never had it. They all sort of seem to fit to their own, yeah.
And I think Gil was telling me that the geos clear a spot in the sand down to the glass at the bottom to lay their eggs before collecting them. Are you getting that happening?
Well, most of these ones are a bit small. Like maybe the green horseface are getting a bit bigger, but they sort of lay them on the wood or on rocks in my tank, not really on the glass.
Okay.
I'll sort of pick a rock or something and do it that way. But I have been watching a guy on Instagram. He's been breeding them lately, and he's just been throwing some of them leaves in there. The leaves that tan in the water.
Yeah.
He just throws a couple of them in, and they lay on the leaf.
Okay.
So yeah, I've never seen him do that before, but he's getting success doing that.
Okay. Comment from Gil: they can interbreed.
Oh, okay. I've never had it, but yeah, okay, that's good. Good to know.
So you might have some bastards in the tank if you once
Yeah,
they
maybe.
start appearing. All right, now you got some Siamese alligators, a fantastic fish, good size as well.
Oh, they're huge.
Yeah,
This one, I don't know if you can see over here. There's a couple of gold dust geos. They sort of get more of a redder head on them down the front here.
yep.
The Siamese alligators, I had blackbeard algae in this tank really bad. It was growing everywhere, and I've just pretty much put them in there, and it's decimated all of it.
Yeah.
Like they slowly just get. There's a tiny bit on the Ubius there, but there's nothing on wood, nothing on the glass like it was. It was crazy. So they do their job.
How many alligators you got in there for the what size tank is it?
It's 7 foot by 3 foot by 2.5 foot.
7 foot by 3 foot by 2.5 foot.
Yeah, so it's a fair sized tank.
Geez, you get some bloody good tanks down there.
I got this on the cheap too. The local shop I got it from, they had it sitting there. They built it for a guy, and it sat there and sat there. And they kept hitting me up, "Oh, you should buy it." And I'm like, "No, I don't want a big tank." And he never picked it up. So I said, "Yeah, I'll buy it." I think I paid $1,000 for it or something like that.
Yeah, right.
But this tank's been running for like 11 years now.
Oh, really? Do you want to?
Yeah,
hey, do you want to go behind your camera and bring it? You know how you can zoom in slightly with one of the settings.
How do I do that?
Well, you know how there was the back camera setting, and you could choose the one that was like wide versus. There you go. You just zoomed in. Okay, that answers the question. I was wondering what the tetra was, and are they Buenos Aires tetras?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I actually bred all them up, but I had a Saratoga in there growing up for a while, and it ate them all, most of them. So I've only got a few left.
Do you find the Buenos Aires obviously are one of the larger tetras, and they have a reputation for being a bit nippy? Do you find that at all?
Yeah, on the minnows, I had them in the minnow tank, and I had to try and get them all out because I wanted to put them in this tank, and that was a mission to get them out. Yeah, I think they used to pick on the minnows a fair bit.
Yeah.
And it was a mission to get them out of that planted tank as well.
Okay. So you bred.
Yeah, I bred them ones, yeah.
Did you do that intensively, like inside a smaller tank, or how did you do it?
Yeah, just a smaller tank with a bit of RO water and all that. And yeah, they laid eggs everywhere and grew them up.
That's funny, eh? Because it's something that I think saltwater keepers just can't fathom that idea. And I almost forgot about the concept of doing that until I was recently thinking about restocking my native tank with rainbow fish. And I was talking to Dave Wilson about sending down some big checkered rainbows, and he was very reluctant to do it because of they don't travel very well and they're large. And he just said, look, I can send you down stacks of small ones, or I can send you down a couple of big ones in giant bags, and you can breed your own. I used to breed stacks, but it was like I'd almost forgotten about the concept of breeding up your own colony to then put into your display tank. I was talking to Gil. I was talking to Gil about that earlier on about cherry barbs doing the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's the best way. You can breed them up or go and buy a couple of new just to get a bit of new blood in there and try and breed them up yourself. It's just the hardest thing's catching them. Catching them is the hardest thing about them because they're so darty and they're the hardest things to catch.
Yeah. How big are they? They're pretty deep body fish, those guys.
Yeah, there's a big one. I don't know if you can see the big one. That's one of the parents. That's probably, I don't know, 6 centimeters or 7 centimeters. The smaller ones are, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 centimeters now. They are a deep body fish.
Yeah, if they're 6 centimeters, they've got to be at least 3.5 to 4 or 3.5 centimeters, like from top to bottom.
Yeah. They look like a silver dollar, just a bit smaller, really. Like
I was just about to say that. I was just about to say they look like a bloody silver dollar or a little Pacu or something.
Yeah.
Speaking of silver dollars, there's a question here from Daniel Witcher. How do you go with the silver dollars and the plants?
Yeah, they looked a bit nipped up, the plants, but they've been real quiet in this tank. They need to come out again as well. I did have a heap more, and they're in with the bigger fish, and I sold a few, and these are just the last two I have left. They're a bit of a breeding pair. They normally breed all the time, but I haven't got any fry off them. But they're pretty peaceful in there, to be honest, but they will be coming out.
How many dollars you got in there?
Just the two.
Two.
Yeah.
I always thought it'd be nice to do a silver dollar and bleeding heart tetra tank, because they're
that
again
would be good.
kind of large, deep-bodied fish.
Yeah, I had about 10 at one stage, and they looked really good in the big tanks swimming around everywhere. But then the fish started to eat them, and just started losing them.
The bleeding hearts?
No, it's the silver dollars.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know about if you've noticed, but bloody the cost of freshwater fish have gone up as well. I couldn't believe it. I was looking at freshwater fish prices because I've been out of the buying freshwater fish for a while, and I was blown away how expensive. Like I was looking at, for example, bleeding heart tetras, and they were sitting up above. They were above $10 a piece, and I was looking at rainbow fish, and they were
they're expensive.
$20-something per fish, and I'm going, what is going on? What's happened?
Yeah, very much. I think they're pretty dear. Pet shops are pretty dear. I try and buy a few from breeders and things like that if I want to buy, but I've got to stop buying fish. I just need to concentrate on what I've got, I think.
Yeah. So what's the ultimate aim? Oh, do you want to just pan out so we can see what's going on above? You've got plenty of Monstera, I think, haven't you?
How do I do that? Yeah.
There we go. Monstera and Pothos. Now those guys, those Monstera look a little bit less happy than the other ones.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty old plant, that one. I don't know what's going on. It's probably hasn't got enough room up there, but that one does get a lot more. The other tank sort of gets a bit of natural light from behind it. This one gets a little bit from in front. You can see they're creeping towards it, but they don't look as happy, I suppose.
Yeah. Do you find that the silver dollars, because that's the one get around when you've got herbivorous fish, is to use emergent plants. Do you find they eat the roots?
I haven't noticed them, but the roots aren't that big now. I'm looking at them. Maybe they are, because the roots in my other tank seem to be a lot longer and that. So, yeah, maybe they are nipping on them. But a lot of them roots go down the weirs too, and then they go down into the sump and wherever they want to go. I have to cut them out every so often, so they run everywhere. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that reminds me. John had a question back there about. Here we go. Just turn your camera in, mate, so we can see your face. John Tron 6. Well, that does look like you.
It does it?
Except that it's cartoon format.
I don't know what's going on there. What happened there? Oh, there we go.
There you go. What is that? That's you, I'm assuming.
I think that's just my YouTube picture.
Okay. By the way, for everybody out there, Shaun is a giant of a man who should have played basketball but never did.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah, I used to play rep basketball.
Oh, I remember us having a conversation about it. I thought you said no, you didn't. So you did.
I did, but I probably should have kept playing, but I give it up in high school. So yeah, I probably should have kept going.
At what age? What age were you playing?
Oh, all the way up to like maybe 15.
So under 16s.
Yeah, pretty much.
And you were like 6'3" then, were you?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I'm 6'4". Only 6'4", 6'5" at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, mate, you're at least 6'5". You were towering over me when I saw you. I sideline for everybody out there who doesn't care about sport. I used to coach basketball, and I remember the under 16s, and you'd get the boys coming up that were these giants of kids that would tower over everybody else. And so, I was always doing the Division 2 coaching. and the Division 1 coaches would always choose that kid because they thought they could put him in the post and do stuff. And the funny thing is that usually those kids, and I'm not saying this is the case with you, mate, but usually those kids were, it's like they needed more time to develop, to mature.
Yeah, probably. I had a lot of parents that used to get up people because I thought I was older. Like he shouldn't be playing in this league, and
But it was always the case because they put him in Division 1 and they hadn't quite matured enough, even though they were like right up there, and they just got flustered. And it was like, shit, he should just be in Division 2 so he can grow, develop, mature. And
I agree.
Used to do my head in. Now, question for you: Grubby has an elaborate setup of terrestrial bog plants used as a nitrate sink. Could you get him to explain how he has established these?
As in, I just started by putting them in the tanks and they started going nuts. I keep trying to do nitrate tests and ammonia tests, and John doesn't believe me, but they keep coming back to 0.
Right.
And I'm just putting it down to all the plants that are in there. I used to have the sump on this tank. I've just rearranged it, but one whole section was growing pothos just flat out in there under the lid.
Yep.
And that was eating a lot too, but I've just recently moved it all and it looks like it's died off a bit now. But I don't know. I'm doing the tests right, but every time I do it, they come back 0. So
do you is there a technique you've got for introducing, let's say, a potted house plant? I can see you got some what looks like parlor palms behind you or something.
Yeah, I've got parlor palms and I've got peace lilies and all that. I don't know. I suppose sometimes I might, with a few of them, there's one, that parlor palm there actually is in a pot. And I sort of just sat the pot on top of the weir and it sort of started getting water, and I just wash the roots out and go stick them all the way in. Sometimes they mightn't grow for a while. Like those plants are pretty old up there now. They were tiny when I bought them. And they just, once they get the taste of water, they sort of start going nuts. Yeah.
There's definitely a different type of root that grows.
Yeah, for sure.
A water root as opposed to an air root.
So when they shoot runners out, they'll shoot them out and try and find water as they do. They'll be real crusty and then when they do find water, it's like that crust peels back and the inner root comes out. Yeah, that's what I've noticed. They'll run down the back of the tank and try and get into the sump and they'll climb everywhere.
I found a lot of success, like with a couple of natives. I was growing Lamandra hystrix, which is the creek rush, the weeping one, as well as Lamandra tanica, which is the real fine leaf one, just in scoria in those hydroponic baskets from Bunnings with all the slots down the side. And I'd fix those. They were outside, so they were getting natural light, but their roots came all the way down. They've died now because the tank's empty. And also a casuarina, funnily enough, just zip tied. I think you might have seen it, zip tied to the driftwood. And inside Crinan lilies, the native swamp lily, is doing really well. Planted in the soil and coming up and out. Yeah.
Okay. Well, most of them, I just I made up little hooks I got from Bunnings and sort of melded them so they fit around there, and I made them work. And the most of them are just sort of stuck in the back of the lids there, and now they just sort of sit on the back of the tank by themselves. Nothing's really holding them in there. They're not zip tied in or anything.
Have you had any plants that you tried that have been a failure? One that you thought this is going to be brilliant, but it didn't quite work out?
Yeah, I don't know the name of them, but those, maybe like the elephant ear plants.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
And then the black elephant ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, them ones. I had that growing really good, and then all of a sudden it just sort of died.
Did it die during winter time?
I can't remember. Maybe, yeah.
because they do senesce during the winter time. Their foliage dies down, even if their roots are still warm. If the air temperature drops, their foliage goes down, and then they'll reshoot during the springtime, because they're a different genus to the normal alocasias, because I grow those cut foliages, so I kind of.
Well, I've got one outside. I'm not down with plant names. It looks like a peace lily, but they grow around here in that they sort of look like a peace lily with a big white flower, and they sort of grow in ponds and all that sort of thing, grow in wetlanded areas. You can. I bought one from Bunnings.
A canna lily, canna?
Maybe it's going crazy in my pond outside.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you. Did you know that water lettuce is illegal in New South Wales?
I think it's illegal everywhere in Australia, isn't it?
I didn't, and I had it until the ranger come round and took it all. So I don't have any anymore.
How do you know that you had it?
I was trying to sell it. Well, I did sell it. I was wondering why it was like hot property. Everyone wanted it. And he come round, he goes, nah, he was good about it. He told me, I gave it all to him. I didn't really care. So,
mate,
I got no idea.
I got ponds full of Amazon frog bit, which is illegal too.
Okay.
And I know the koi guys, they really love using water hyacinth because of the habitat in the roots for the fry.
They shoot a lot of roots down. That's what people were buying the lettuce for, mainly for breeding koi and goldfish and all that.
That's it. Yeah. But it's ridiculous, because I've taken a drive up to just past Grafton, heading up towards Ballina on the old highway. So you're going, I don't know, what's past Grafton? McLean or something. Is that before or after? I don't know. And and there's one particular spot on the left-hand side, and there's these seasonal dams which seem to dry right down to mud, and it's weird, but then they'll fill up again, and they're absolutely chockers full of water hyscinth. Chockers. Yeah, right. And yet down in Coffs Harbour here, I remember when I was spraying weeds with the council when we first moved here, we were going and like getting excavators with baskets on the end of the arms to scoop out ponds and lakes of water hyacinth. And yet the Grafton Council doesn't even, like, if I know about it, they must know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tan's Aquariums asks, how long have you had the Siamese algae eaters? They are a nice size. I have 3 slow growing ones.
I don't know. Maybe, probably 2 years. I did have a few in my sump that I've just pulled out and put in there, and they're tiny compared to them. So, yeah, I'd say they're probably 2 years old.
Okay.
They're pretty big now.
Joe Haney says about your plants, do you think that they are taking up the nitrate, or do you think they're feeding off the ammonia before it gets the chance to convert?
I don't really. I think both. I think they're doing a bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah. Another comment. Lots of comments here, mate.
Okay.
Something ate the pothos I had growing out of my tank. A mouse, maybe. Ross, I've had some hairy caterpillars that have come in and got into the crinum I've got going. And I only know about them because I've seen them floating around the tank, and I haven't got the arches anymore, so they're still floating there. So maybe caterpillars. Have you had caterpillars in your shed at all?
No, not really. I've got ants. I've got ants living on one of my monstera.
Have you got any? Hey, is it the one that's a bit wilted looking?
It's the one that's behind me over here. The camera's reversed. Over there. Whoop. No, that one's growing pretty good.
And that one's doing good. The only reason I ask is that sometimes ants will colonize an indoor plant or even an outdoor plant when there's another pest there that produces a sugary secretion, which can be a scale insect or a mealybug.
That's sort of the only insects I really get in here. I might get a couple of flies every now and then, but pretty much only the ants I see.
Okay, all right. Have a look on their leaves and make sure there's no little like waxy dots or white fuzzy looking things.
There might be
Gabriel,
some brown little dots.
well, and if you can wipe them off, like you can sort of flick them off with your fingernail, that's a scale insect.
Oh, okay.
Gabs uses native cordyline, so they'd be cordyline. What's that one? Cordyline pilaris. Yeah, Hoya and ferns. I found a fern in my local bulrush swamp in the industrial area, and there was this lake in there full of bulrushes and stuff, and there's this fern that grows on really tall rhizomes that come up vertically, and then the foliage comes up and stands almost about probably 2 or 3 feet.
Yeah, okay.
60 to 90 centimeters out above the water, and it's just like this blade going up. They start out reddy orange and they turn deep green, but there's this, it's a really weird looking rhizome that goes straight up out of the water, which would be cool.
I tried ferns, but I don't think the ones I got were sort of from a native creek that was cold water, and they didn't really do too well. I think they need more natural light.
There is a
fern, fully out of water.
There's a fern called a blechnum, Blechnum, and it looks like a miniature version of a tree fern. So it does develop a little bit of a stout trunk, and then it goes out to like a 30 centimeter wide, area of fronds, and they tend to live in shallow water, wet creek sides and things like that. Red root floaters are illegal now.
Yeah, really.
Oh, but Daniel, I think Daniel, are you in? Where's Daniel? Was Daniel in Britain? Oh no, he's saying in Queensland, because I know guys up there that are and they're bloody expensive.
That might be why.
They're not water hyacinths, not illegal in Victoria, probably because it dies down in the winter. Maybe.
Well, it does here too. Over winter, mine would go to nothing, and I had them in IBCs, and then over summer they'd just go nuts and fill the whole IBC up.
Yeah.
But they wilt away in winter, yeah, for sure. But the seeds apparently stay in there and they grow back, and that's what the ranger told me.
Yeah. The simulator 898G says that water hyacinths all over the world, countries should relax. Asian carp in the Mississippi River, bluegill and bass in Europe. Embrace the invasive world and stop stressing about
it. Yeah.
The world's going to become one homogenous population where nothing is native anymore one day.
Oh, look at Florida. I think they've let the peacock bass go now, and they're not invasive species there anymore.
Oh, I think it's because they've become a revenue source, isn't it, with fly fishing and stuff?
Yeah, I suppose.
As soon as Gil's got something going on here, which we're going to move on to another tank. Don't worry, people. Gil's got maidenhair growing in one of his ferns, and Gil, I'm going to ask this, mate, because one of my ideas for a small tank was to do cherry barbs and maidenhair above a dark leaf litter below. Did you? And maidenhairs, the only reason because maidenhairs in the past, when I tried doing them as an indoor plant, if they dry out, they are dead. So can you put down in the chat, Gil, and it looks like Tanya, if there's any tricks to getting the maidenhair to start, because it's bloody awesome, and there's some really cool native versions of it too. Tanya says her peace lily. This is not very monster fish talk at all, is it, Grubb?
Nah, it's good.
Oddly, my peace lily doesn't do well, or monstera. Pothos does great. Love to try the bamboo palm. Not enough natural light in the room. Yeah, but I'm assuming you've got lights above all of your emergent plants, don't you?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I tried bamboo and that didn't really take off either. I don't know if it's the lights, but yeah, I've got lights above the tanks for that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, We've seen your minnows.
Yep.
We've moved on to your geos. What's the next step up in the size range?
I got one baby bass.
Right, let's
I
do
bred
it.
them, and one survived. One bass out of thousands of eggs. I got one that's grown up. And that's probably
Now,
the next one.
I'm assuming we're talking about a peacock bass as opposed to a straight baby bass.
How do I go back?
By the way, Gil says that maidenhair's easy to start, gets around, knocked around a little in dry air. Maybe a misting system, Gil. Is that something that you were thinking about? Oh, yeah? Okay.
That's him, the lone soldier.
Out of how many eggs?
Oh, thousands.
Thousands. So, all right, just for shits and giggles, okay, so where would you go in the size range after this? Are you jumping up to the peacock bass next, or where are we going?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, peacock.
Are you able to take us between the two tanks so we can talk about the breeding of peacock bass?
Yeah. I'll put my camera over here, actually. Yep.
Righto.
Yeah.
They are pretty cool, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they are a cichlid from South America. Do they go into Central America or only South?
I think they're mainly all through the Amazon and maybe Central America. I'm not 100% sure.
And they are substrate spawners or mouth brooders?
Mouth or substrate spawners. They're the same as geos. They'll create a nest, lay eggs on a rock or maybe the bottom of the tank or a bit of wood, and yeah, protect them, and then they can bring them into their mouth, and when they're hatched, and do it that way.
Okay, so they lay onto a surface, then they take them in their mouth afterwards.
Yeah, after they hatch, they will do that.
So what does that mean for you with those thousands of eggs? Do you want to show us the mother that you had to pry thousands of eggs out of?
Well, I tried a few different techniques. I tried to just let them do their thing a fair few times, and nothing. That wasn't working at all. So I tried removing the eggs, which I don't know if you can see the bowls in here.
Yes.
I used the bowls and removed the eggs, and that was when I started getting them hatching and started getting success. But then the next thing was feeding them. Yeah.
So just confirm. So the bowls were for them to lay eggs into?
Yes, they lay eggs in them. I think I had them flipped over, so they just had a nice flat surface. They like a flat scaly rock or a flat. They have laid on the timber in there a few times before, but just that way, so then you can pick it up and take it out, sort of thing. Yeah.
So what's the time frame before they pick them up into their mouth for you to take them out?
Oh, a fair while. They'll sort of let them hatch. Like most, sort of more like Central American fish, they'll sort of let them hatch and then they can suck them into their mouth and protect them. Well, I think it's more of a protection sort of thing.
Okay.
So I just sort of picked them out within I gave them probably 24 hours, maybe a little bit longer, just to let the male do his thing.
Yep.
And yeah, then I just removed them all. I started getting them hatching, and then then that was the next obstacle after that, feeding them.
So you had them hatching, but you couldn't feed them.
I couldn't keep the feed up to them. You got to feed them so much, like 4 or 5 times a day. And when I work every day, like I can't do that. So I was feeding them as much as I could, but yeah, and I think I had an issue with snails eating them as well.
Okay.
Yeah, like just the snails that are in this tank, there's a few around in there. I found, because they sort of lay on the bottom when they're small, I think the snails were coming in and eating them at night.
Did you, what What's the first kind of food that the peacock bass eat when they're hatched out?
Like freshly hatched brine shrimp. So I was hatching that every day and sort of moved him up. I think he's still eating full-size brine shrimp now, and I've got a whiteworm culture that he still loves to eat. But he grew up with white cloud minnows. I had him growing up with them and until he ate them all. So, yeah, now he's by himself.
So I wonder, I do have a comment here from Tanya, which is very valid. We'll read out in a sec. But I wonder, Neil, I'll send you some footage, Grubby. There was a member of ours, Neil, showed us some footage of a discus, I guess you call it hatchery or grow out system. And every single tank had a little peristaltic pump motor that was basically dosing live baby brine continually.
Yeah, I have only recently. I was talking to a guy overseas on Instagram, and he was telling me that's the best way to do it. He's getting just about all his hatching and all his living because of that reason. It just sort of doses it whenever you sort of set it up to do it. It is probably the way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might have to look into one of them sort of pumps and try and do that next time.
I was a bit confused in a way because I thought that the peristaltic motion with the rollers might damage the baby brine, but I guess even if they damaged it, they'd still be eaten, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's just they like that live because they sort of kick around like lice in there. I think they just sort of that's what that draws them to them. But once they sort of get used to those, they'll start eating them when they're dead as well.
Yeah. So what's the time frame? Like how long before they get onto pellet food where you can just have some pellet dispensers set up?
I don't know, probably a month or so. Like he still doesn't really like pellets. He would rather eat brine shrimp and all that over that. But I suppose because I've got a bit of a plug here. I got the Frenzy fish feeds, and I started using the smaller stuff they use, and he was smashing that. And then I started going up, so I did get him onto that probably in the first month.
Was that the 0.5 that you're doing, or the 1 millimeter?
Pretty much the dust stuff, the smaller stuff they had.
Yeah,
I got him onto that because that's about the size of a baby brine shrimp, really, when you see it in the water. And yeah, I think I worked up to. I think he's eating the 1 mils, maybe even the 2 mils now easily, if he does want to eat them. But he'd rather eat the white worms and all that.
Have you heard from other people, probably overseas, that breed peacock bass that have had similar challenges with rearing the babies?
Yeah. Apparently, it's a common thing to keep the feed up to them. And the last time they bred, I was about to go on holidays, so that wasn't the best thing either. And I went away for a week, and yeah, I couldn't get any food to them really. So I was sort of trying to do what I do like with my other fish, put them in like a planted tank and let them eat like the biofilm and all that. And majority of them did survive, but then when I got home and started feeding them, as I said, once the food was dropping where they were in the tank, I reckon the snails would all come in overnight to eat that food and also eat them because they were just disappearing overnight.
They'd have to be pretty doughy, bloody fried to be eaten by a snail, though, wouldn't they?
I don't know. I think they just lay on the bottom, so maybe.
Tans Aquariums has got a comment for or a suggestion for you, mate. For the fry, lots of mulm and botanical leaf litter bottom with a mature tank to feed off the natural biofauna.
That's what I've tried, but I don't, because they're a predator fish, I don't think they really like eating that too much. Like I know every other one of my fish, they sort of do that, but I don't think they really like it that much. They prefer the live food, and that's just what draws them to eat.
But would you say, though, that if you set up a tank, let's say you had a seasoned mature tank that you were just running in the background with leaf litter bottom, it's got biofilms and fungus and all that sort of stuff going on down there, if there's that, especially if you've inoculated it with a bit of that creek sand, first, would with the presence of the biofilms, the fungi, and the botanicals, not then allow a population of grazing copepods and various things to habit the tank, which then that the bass could then feed off those?
Well, that's sort of what I do. I have a 2-foot tank. It sort of has the same substrate and it was heavily planted where I was just letting the minnows breed, and that's where I had them. And then I wasn't sure what was eating them, and I narrowed it down to, I think, snails, but there was also those little slugs in there, if you know what I'm talking about. They're tiny little slugs you see come out when I feed them, and they were eating the food. I don't think they eat the bass, but there was a lot of them in there, and that's all I can put it down. I think snails ate them, but yeah.
Well, okay.
That's how they did survive.
Well, it's interesting because there's a comment here from Prouty87 that says that snails would eat his discus fry.
Yeah.
So
I've seen a few people say they do eat them.
What sort of snails are we talking about here? We're talking about some assassin snails or something.
Like those, I think are they ram's horns or something like that? They just sort of come on plants. And like these ones that just go ape shit in here, if you can see these.
Yeah, like those pond snails with the
yeah, But the big ones with the pointy ones, are they ram's horns? What are they called? The big
ram's horns. Ram's horns are curved like a ram's horn. Bladder snails will eat
the big pointy ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got to get rid of your snails, mate.
Oh, I have been. But I think next time I'll try them and just have them in a more pure tank, not in there, unless I can clean out all the snails. Well, I have recently cleaned that tank out and replanted it, so there's no snails in there at the moment, I don't think. So I might try again in there.
Yeah. All right.
When summer comes around, I'll try again.
Thanks, baby. I've got a bit of a question here from Craig Perry, but I'm going to hide it just momentarily because we need to find out a bit more about your existing tank here. Let's start with your peacock bass. So again, I know nothing about peacock bass, but there's different locality variations, I guess, based upon collection location.
Yeah, there's a fair few different species of them.
So are they true species or subspecies, or are they all the same species but different color variations?
I think there's different subspecies. They're all sort of under the peacock bass, but some different species grow larger than others and look a little bit different.
So what are we looking at here? The big guy in the middle, man, cross, is what I consider the classic peacock bass. What's this one?
Well, this is actually the father of that fry. He's just a mono peacock bass, which used to be the common one in Australia, but now they're hard to find. You don't really see them anymore. He's a monoculeus.
Okay, is that because they were common and no one wanted them anymore, and so they fell by the wayside, and now you can't get them? Maybe.
I think a guy in Queensland just bred some, and actually Atlas Aquariums selling them at the moment. They had some in there. And that's the first time I've seen them for a fair while, because everyone's sort of having what was getting in the market a fair bit was these crossed with another one.
Okay.
And that sort of bleeded the market out, the crossbreeds.
So these ones are the ones that get that classic golden tone, a bit of red finage.
Yeah, and a really, really big red hump on their head. Like, not as big as a flower horn, but damn near close. Like, they get a really big... Like, you can see this one's starting to get a little bit of a hump. But when they get sort of turned on, if you know what I mean, they get that really, really big red hump.
Don't we all?
Yeah, and he's a crossbreed. He's a Calberry cross mono.
Okay. And how big is he for reference at the moment? What size tank are we looking at?
This is a 10-foot tank. I've got a ruler here. I don't know if you can see that. But that's 450, 45 centimetres. This is a 10 by 2.5. Whoops, sorry. 10 by 2.5 by 2.5.
Okay. What size do these monos grow to?
The monos are probably one of the smaller bass. They probably only get around that 45 centimeters, I suppose.
Oh, okay. That's pretty manageable.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are the ones that grow to like 3 feet?
Temensis, they get about 1 meter. There's a few of them on the market at the moment, and they're pretty hefty price. And I've thought about them, but they're too big. I can't house a fish that big.
You know, the unfortunate thing is, I think that a lot of people that probably don't ask that question, and they just think, oh, it's going to grow huge, and they buy it without asking.
Yeah.
Like let's face it, classic barramundi purchases.
Yeah.
And it's great that you actually recognise that. So that's a full grown fish there.
Yeah. All these fish are starting to get a bit old now too.
Really? Okay.
So yeah,
All
he's
right.
full grown. Yeah.
So there I was thinking that you were going to have like 1 meter long monsters in your backyard.
Nah, that's pretty much the biggest. The Azul in here, Azul peacock backs is probably the biggest one in here.
So which ones are those, mate?
Well, he's a smaller one.
Okay, so he's a silvery colour, is he, with the black stripes?
Oh, the lights in here are pretty crappy for this tank, but no, he gets like blue fins and black lines, and he gets a lot of blue in him.
Okay.
You can't really see it on the camera there, but they get it really girthy. The one over here is the big fella.
Yep.
He'd be probably 15 centimeters thick.
Yep.
Like he's a broad fish, and he's probably 60 centimeters.
How do you know? Okay, another question from someone that's never kept these fish. How do you know which ones are the boys and which ones are the girls?
Well, with these Azules, see the blue on that? They're really hard to tell. I can't tell. But
how'd you know it was a boy?
Well, I'm just guessing he is. I just say he. I don't know with him. But the other variants, like the monos, it's obviously the red hump.
Right. So did you have a female there for comparison?
This one, her colours are a bit faded out at the moment, but she's the mother of that one. See, the head ain't as pronounced. It's sort of a bit more curved, and she's a lot smaller. She's probably only 40 centimetres.
And at what size do you start to see the boys developing their hump?
Oh, probably for about 30 centimetres, 25 to 30 centimetres, I'd say.
Right. So really, if you want to get peacock bass and breed them, at least the monos, you need to get a group and then start to separate them as they're growing up, because
it's probably the best way to grow them out and let them pair up themselves.
Yeah. Okay. Do you find that they fight with each other?
Not really, but before, when they had the mouths open, that was sort of as much as they get. But no, they're not a real aggressive fish, I've found.
Okay.
They're pretty peaceful with each other.
So you've got you got the monos. What was the silver ones with the black stripes and the bluish tinge?
Azul.
Azules, and then you've got another sort in there as well.
There's a Xingu, that old girl at the back there in the middle. She's got a couple of spots on her at the moment.
She looks a bit like the mono.
Yeah. A lot of these fish look different when they're younger too. They look a lot better. And as they get bigger, they sort of, their colours fade into something else.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and this one here, he's normally really showing his stuff off, but you can see the dots. He's a Kelberry. He normally got the real big hump, but lately he's just been a bit chilled out.
And which is the smallest growing variety of peacock bass in the tank?
I'd say it's either the Kelberry or the mono. The Kelberry, actually, because he's a lot smaller than probably them. The Kelberry.
What about a foot long or something, or bigger than that?
Oh, still around that 40 centimetre mark. Just not as big in the body as like a Xingu and Azul. You can see like they get a lot bigger body.
I was just thinking about some stocking plans for Gil, because he's in the process of building that 12 by 4 by 3. And
definitely some peacock bass. That'd be good.
Well, He's probably going to. He told me that he was going to stock it with a trio of silver tip tetras.
Oh yeah.
And I said, I suggested that maybe he could get a bit more heavy with the stocking plan than just that trio.
Yeah.
But I got a feeling he probably wants to go down the pathway of putting angels and stuff in there, or GF Vegas. With these, are these guys the kind of fish they're going to go and? I mean, this could be a stupid question based on the size of their mouth, but are these the kind of fish that are going to chow down everything else around them?
No, not really. Like, if they fit in their mouth, and if they're brought up, I found if fish are brought up on live food, they sort of do that. These are all always been pellet fed, so they don't really do that. I did have one really old one that passed away not long ago, and he ate a few gar and he ate a couple of silver dollars, but he was the only one I really had that ate fish. The rest are pretty good. Like, I had the catfish in here when they were a lot smaller. There is a Synodonus, I think it is, catfish in the wood that's been in there for years as well, and they haven't touched him.
What's the catty at the back that's kind of a golden colour?
I think they call it a hemiartis or something, like an albino Asian redtail.
Okay, don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Is that full grown?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
So they don't care about that?
No, and there's an even, where's the small? He's only in the log. I've got a big pleco and that in there, and actually I think there is an Aussie native at the back there. Can you sort of see that?
Yeah.
Who's that? What do they call it? Jade perch.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I just threw him in there, and he's just been hiding and living in there, so they haven't eaten him.
That's good. There's some friggin' big yellowfish out the front taking all the spotlight.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, and I don't know if John's still out there or not, but I've got a little bit of a theory. And I heard this plan from a podcast, and it was in regards to keeping predators and prey. And I've got a feeling, from what I'm seeing, unless you go on holidays in Tasmania for 2 weeks, that if you've got very large fish and you combine them with quite small fish that don't have a lot of, the investment of the chase is not really worth the reward, is what I'm trying to say. So what I'm trying to say is, what would happen if you went and but you acclimated a bunch of, let's say, Danios to that tank, zebra Danios? Would they eat them?
I'd say the gar would probably eat them, but not right away. They wouldn't be chasing them down, but the gar would hunt them down and probably eat them. But yeah, I dare say they would eat them.
You think so? Okay.
I reckon, yeah, probably. Or the Saratoga would.
See, my Saratoga doesn't eat well, I tell a lie. It did eat rainbows whilst I was in Tassie, hence what I was saying. But the rainbows that are there at the moment have been fine since I got back from Tassie because I've been feeding it. That's what I mean. It's kind of like, is it worth the effort? You know what I mean? Like, if it's a medium fish like a silver dollar, that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe. I've never really thrown anything small in there. I should maybe try with some of them Braziliensis, I suppose.
The hard part is that once you get to a stage like you got at the moment, if you went and opened a bag of tiny fish, it would look like you're feeding them.
That's why I don't want to encourage the live feeding. I'm not really into live feeding, so that's why I've never done it.
No, mate, I agree completely. Phil is arrived in the chat here at the moment. Do you know Phil Porter, Grubby?
I don't think so.
No, he's just another native. Well, you're not a native keeper, but he's a native keeper, large fish keeper from Coffs Harbour as well. Jade Perch, Barcoo Grunter. I'm not the only one, Adam. Yeah. So I picked up Phil's other mangrove jack that was being.
I did see that video. Yeah.
So he was being a bit of a dick, and I pulled the piss out of that he was keeping a Barcoo Grunter or a Jade Perch because they're really not all that exciting to look at.
Oh, they're pretty boring, aren't they?
Yeah. He reckons
how's it going?
perfectly fine. And like feels like going, what? I put it in there, and I was seriously expecting the resident mangrove jack, which is slightly smaller, or the big finger mark to have a crack at him, because a territorial thing. They didn't.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Oh, there was a little bit of just a little bit of a fin flick and a back up kind of thing, and also from the moonras. And then since then, they just hang out together all day, and there's been nothing going on. I'm saying, Phil,
That's great.
mate, what's going on, buddy? What's going on? I got to tell you, it's salt water is what the difference is.
Yeah. Do you think when you first added it, did you notice the difference in those two fish? I noticed that the freshwater one had a slightly different body shape and everything to the other one.
I thought you were going to say something different. You can turn the camera around. I thought what you were going to do was say a different coloration.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, because what I've noticed is that the coloration of the fish in freshwater is that kind of dark, reddy brown kind of color, and the coloration of fish, and you see that with guys that have been fishing, and you see them like you got their brag photos up from their fishing trip, and there's some beautiful red fish. And that's been in freshwater. And then when I got some footage of the fish in salt water, they're more of that silvery color. You can see the sort of crisscrossy scale pattern, and then some red in the fins, but not as much. And it turned to that silvery color within a day.
Yeah, okay.
I got a theory. And the theory is that reddish coloration is something to do with the salinity in the water. It could be I don't know. I got a feeling it could be something, because there's obviously freshwater fish are constantly letting water out, I think, because their body is more salty than the environment. So therefore, water's been naturally drawn in, so they're constantly urinating and letting water out. So there's water going through their body all the time. And I've just got there's some sort of theory that there's something about the physiologically that's making them go that color. And maybe there's also something to do with stress coloration as part of it too. Maybe we think that this pretty red fish is really pretty and it's red, but maybe it's slightly stressed because it's in the process of going down the estuaries towards the salt.
Yeah, true.
Because I never see that reddish color when I see the mangrove jacks at the Seaway. Not the Seaway, at the Nambucca. Never. They're never that color.
In the water themselves, yeah. They sort of only show that when they come out of water, don't they?
Or in those fishing photos in fresh water.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
But no, he's been fine. He's doing fine. So
yeah, that's good.
I got no worries. It's just no different to any other fish. No sign of aggression whatsoever. I don't know how long it's been now. Phil, how long's it been, mate? Probably about a month, I guess. I think Phil's going to owe me a bottle of Jameson's pretty soon. And I think I saw... Here we go. I'm spewing. Thought I had a bottle of Jameson's, but maybe you do, Adam. Phil, I can tell you right now, mate, that there is no chance in the world that I'm buying you a bottle of Jameson's, mate. But I expect the 1 litre bottle of it, though. Comment there from John Tron. As Grubby said, if you don't feed live, they will grow out of eating live fish.
Yeah, true. That's a big issue with them as well. Once you get them eating live, they don't want pellets. And you can starve these things for weeks until they start eating pellets. Like it's a mission to get them back on the pellets.
Yeah. And I've seen people, I mean, the mangrove jack's a classic example. There's a guy that is a fantastic coral propagator and he's got some interesting pets, but he's there dangling his sardines above the mangrove jack tank to make it come out and lunge and grab it. And that's fine if all he wants to do is have that fish as a pet by itself. But if the day comes where he wants to combine it with other fish, he's basically been training aggression in that fish for all its life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, really.
I'm just going through the chat, mate, before we... I hear a question about feeding, or Senior Ding Dong says about feeding your bass. I bet they chew through a fair weight of pellets per day.
Yeah, like I get the 4 kilo of those frenzy fish feed 9 mils and probably feed them a fair cup a day, and yeah, they do go through it.
Do you use the discount code Aussie Aquarius and get 10% off?
I do every time. It's good cheap quality food. Like I've looked at other stuff, but it's good. It's priced well, and it's good. It's got everything in it you sort of need. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah. The only thing I'd say for the saltwater keeper out there is that it is very nutrient dense. And what I've found, not so much an issue with freshwater, but I'll find that it will drive your phosphate level for a coral reef tank pretty high.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got to get on to how you do your water changes in a sec. Gil's Fish Room. Keep a Daphnia culture in a tub on top of the tank. Have an airlift tube or a small pump slowly adding tank water to the tub. Then the water containing the Daphnia will overflow the tub and drop into the tank. That's a very old school type of dosing pump.
That is. Yeah, I'll have to try that.
Is there a market for peacock bass in
yeah, I think there is. Around here, a lot of people are chasing them a fair bit that I know of, but
like if you breed them, can you like easily sell them?
I think so, yeah. I'm not really one for selling fish too much, but I sort of just breed for the fun of having more fish. But yeah, I could sell them quite easily, I think. So a lot of aquarium shops would buy them as well as a lot of people.
Do the peacock bass in rivers in the wild, are they a pairing fish that go and isolate themselves, or do they hang out in groups?
I think they do hang out in groups, but they do isolate themselves when they're breeding. They'll pair off. And I found they sort of, I'm not going to say they pair for life, but I've tried introducing another male to that female because I thought he was sterile and they didn't want anything to do with each other.
Okay.
I don't know if they pair a bit more for life than other fish. But yeah.
Talking a bit more about raising, the Shadow Man says he has a friend that breeds them. He removes the fry from the parents once they're free swimming and feeds them live baby brine shrimp 3 to 4 times per day and does water changes every other day.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've found as well.
Yeah.
And high temps. I had a lot of issues with temperature. You need the water like 28, 29 degrees for them to breed.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they like the hot water. Like I've had these tanks in the shed. This tank's been over 32 degrees in the middle of summer. And they're still thriving in there. They love it.
Jeez.
It's pretty hot. And I had a power outage. I had a power outage in the middle of summer once, and the tank was at 32. And, yeah, that was a bit of a mission to get through that, but they all survived.
They were okay?
Yeah, I sort of, because this tank sort of has an overflow, it'll overflow the sump and go outside. I sort of just trickle-fed the hose into it through my filter system and just had the hose on sort of all day low, and it sort of lowered the temp slowly and just sort of bled the tank out. Plus, I got backup air pumps and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, it sort of lowered the temperature slowly.
Have you got a generator?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, by the way, Phil, why didn't you take my generator? I said it was out the front of the house, mate. Obviously, you got through okay.
Yeah, I've got a generator. I've actually got my whole house like a caravan plug on the house.
Yes.
So I can plug in and run the whole house, run everything off a generator. It's probably the best thing you can do, I reckon.
I did that up at North Queensland. So you just go out to the fuse box, you flick one switch to go from being mains to generator, and you just plug it in the generator.
The only downside is with it, you don't know when the power's come back on. Unless you keep looking outside or you keep checking, but you could be running the generator all night and the power turns back on, and you don't know.
All right, I've got a question here from Praddy87. What's a dream fish that you would like to keep but haven't yet?
I really like these peacock bass that are starting to show up in the trade now in Australia called a Toga. I want to get some of them, but I nearly jumped on them, but they're pretty dear. $500 for a 5 centimetre fish is a bit dear. And now they're just going up. I think they're up $800 or more. They're sort of similar to these, but they have a red jaw and red all underbody.
Okay.
I really like to get some of them.
Are the bass expensive fish in general?
Oh,
What's the most?
Yes and no. They go up and down. It's weird.
What's the most readily available one? You said it used to be the monos.
Probably what was around for ages was the mono cross Calbury. Probably at a pet shop for 10 centimeters, maybe $150.
Okay.
But now they're sort of getting more specialized. Like an azul might be $200-$300.
Yeah.
The Temensis, the big ones, they're like $700-$800 for a fry.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a few around at the moment, actually, I was looking at. Yeah, I don't want to spend that.
Tanya's got a good point. You wouldn't want knuckleheads that have bought these fish that get into a big size, like they're a 2-foot fish in a 3-foot tank. They let them go into local river systems. Could be an issue.
Oh, the peacock bass?
Yeah, I think so.
They won't survive. As I said, they need water up in the 28s. Like they maybe live through summer, but they'll just die.
Okay.
They won't handle it. Yeah.
I'm going to go back to Craig. We're going to get on to your garfish and your Saratoga in a sec. But there's one hypothetical question, which I think is probably for you, but also for anyone in the chat that wants to join in. Craig's asking, I'm assuming just like me, he's got a hypothetical tank which is sitting there potentially empty or going to be empty soon. It's a 4-foot tank. If you had a choice of any fish, what would you choose to stock it with? He's already got a Frontosa tank with electric yellows. What would you do with a 4-foot tank?
I had a Frontosa tank, and I did actually really like that with all like the Texas Holy Rock. I'd probably a 4-foot standing for I don't know. I've never really had. I don't like tanks that small, to be honest. I've got one down here. It's just got fish growing out in it. There's fish growing out in one of them. I'd probably plan it out and I'd probably go back to my roots and get like silver sharks and like rainbow sharks and remember all those fish that you don't see very often.
It's a bit small for silver sharks. Silver sharks are this bloody big.
I know, they do get big, yeah. Maybe something like that.
What would I do? You know what I like? I reckon is a seriously underestimated barb is a ruby barb.
A ruby barb.
Ruby barbs. Seriously underestimated. The males they're that classic kind of deep bodied goldfish barb kind of shape. They're the same sort of shape as a tiger barb, but the males get this really dark, blacky kind of crimson, what's that bloody cake that everyone hates because it's full of cherries from the Black Forest? The Black Forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just really cool. They're amazing. Really underrated.
Yeah, okay, I've never really seen them.
That's what I say. Praddy says pseudomoogles. Craig was thinking rainbow fish.
Actually, yeah, I would. I've never had rainbow fish. I've been looking at them lately. They would be a good tank, good fish for a freshwater.
Yeah. Yep, they would be. All right, mate. Do you want to turn the old? Oh, hang on. Before we do that, I think it's time for another segment. I'm just getting a refill over here for my lovely wife. Thank you, Jane. Don't fall over. It's time for another segment. Let's do a shout out. Grubby, this is a time you can pay homage to something, someone, or somewhere in the aquarium hobby, the aquarium world, that you think might be of value to other people and they should know about it.
Paul's Aquariums in Brisbane.
Okay.
He knows everything. He knows everything about breeding fish.
So that's
and
Paul,
everything.
Paul Stingray.
Yeah. I've chatted to him. I've called him a few times, and he helped me through a couple of the peacock bass issues I had. And he's been doing like breeding fish for 40 years. I don't know if you've seen his YouTube, but
yeah,
he's breeding everything.
And reptiles too, I think, doesn't he?
Reptiles, and I think he's just getting back into salt water. Yeah, he seems to know a lot, and he's really down on water chemistry, which is making me sort of look a bit more into that lately, like the KH and the GH and your TDS levels, and he can breed pretty much anything. Like I was watching your video the other week, the guy that breeds all the Baishes.
Yep.
Well, he bred his tiger Baishes first go, and he's been breeding them as well. So and he breeds the Senegals as well and everything else. He said it breeds everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
I did think about reaching out to Paul to find out if he wanted to sort of join us on a Sunday night.
He'd be a good chat. He's a busy man.
I thought he might be a fairly eclectic kind of a fellow.
Maybe, yeah.
Like he's obviously out there. He's got his piercings, his tats. He's into reptiles. He's into the
he's
just doing everything.
He's heavily tattooed. Like he's It'd
be interesting.
Yeah. I want to meet him. I want to go out there and have a chat with him. And I just don't get up that way. But when I do, I'll definitely go to his shop and check him out.
Yeah, cool. Do you have much action in terms of the local aquarium scene down in Newcastle?
To be honest, that used to be really good, like 5-10 years ago, even further. But there's not much around now. We've got one sort of in the vicinity, and it's pretty good. But the other ones are sort of down the central coast. There's a fair few down. And then Sydney, you've obviously got a fair few in Sydney, but not really anything local that's the best.
Okay.
Compared to what it used to be.
You guys down there have got a pet chain which we don't have up this way called, is it Pet Quarters?
Yeah, I've got one in there. I've got a pet quarters. I think there's a pet stock, a pet barn.
But unlike pet barn and pet stock, Pet Quarters do also saltwater fish.
Yeah, selected stores do, I think. I think the one at my local one doesn't. Okay. I'm a bit rural, so I have two. One of them sort of for all your rural animals, and the other one has sort of fish but there's no salt water there. But yeah, a few not further away have the salt.
But the only reason I say that is that if you've got like a franchise store that's doing some salt water, then maybe they'd be a bit more diverse and into freshwater, unusual freshwater stuff. So, for example, Pet Barn up here it's crap. Like they've only got a set stocking that they can purchase based on what their office tells them they can buy. So I remember I went in there years ago and said, "Can you get me some platinum white angels?" And the Platinum Angels weren't on their purchase list, and so they said, no, we can't get them, even though they buy from places like Aquarium Industries where Platinum Angels were available. It just wasn't on their purchase list from head office.
I've found that if you want fish these days, it's so much easier just to buy them online. Like, I don't buy many fish, but when I do, the last few I've bought are online, and the shipping's usually free or $25, and they come to your door.
So what company?
And they got dead on arrival money. They give you money back if they're dead, and I think it's probably the best way to do it. And you can sort of source whatever you want all over Australia.
Hang on, we've got a double shout out. What's your online shout out for buying fish?
Recently, what did I buy? All Fish to You, I think they're in Sydney. They were pretty good. They were really good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I had a couple of fish. A couple of them Geo Daemons turned up dead, 2 of them. And they weren't a cheap fish. I think they were a couple $100. And yeah, he said you can either get some more shipped here, or I can just give you money back. And I just got a couple more.
Wow.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I've got to get down and check out his shop too. He's only about an hour and a half, 2 hours from me. So, but for $25 shipping, you can't beat that.
Well, I was looking at buying what was it? A bulk pack of 30 Mary River checkered rainbows from livefish.com.
Yeah, I haven't used them.
Oh, I used them ages ago, and they were perfectly fine for freshwater. I've never used them for saltwater. Free shipping, $267 or something for 30 of them. And considering rainbows are like 20 or $30 a piece these days, I was like, shit, maybe I should do it. Okay, very cool. All right, mate. Do you want to turn your camera and show us the gar? We had some interesting gar. We had some interest in your gar, and someone asked if you had Florida gar, but that was because I couldn't find a garfish for your thumbnail that had an open mouth and was a spotted gar. No, these are spotted gar. So let's focus on the gar first. What's the story? How big are these guys going to get?
I think they reckon they get about 60 centimeters max, sort of these things.
Okay.
Look, I've been looking into Florida gar and spotted gar, and they are very similar, but I don't think there's any Florida gar around here. I think they are spotted gar.
Yes.
Where's the other one gone? I don't know where the other one is.
He's behind the toga.
Yeah.
So you got two there.
I got these. I bought one off a mate about a year or so ago that was pretty big, but I've got this one of them that was 10 centimeters. I've had him for, I reckon, 8-9 years, and just grown him out.
Okay, so they're not a very fast growing fish.
No, I found they're very slow, but they're getting girthy now. Like, they're probably, I'd say almost as round as a kid's wrist, I suppose.
A kid's wrist. I'm looking at my wrist.
I didn't want to say what else I was going to say, but yeah.
A schlong, a donkey schlong.
I would love to breed these guys, but apparently they're pretty hard, and you need a lot of room. And yeah,
what size do they get to become sexually mature?
I think around this size, that 50, 60 centimeter mark. So these guys are about 50 centimeters.
And are they sexually dimorphic?
I'm not sure. Not much info on them, really.
So do you know that they're a boy and a girl, or you don't know?
They're hard to tell. I think you can tell in like body shape. Apparently girls are a bit chunkier as they are in fish, and the males are a bit more slender, but I don't know. Possibly I might have a male and a female, but I don't know.
So are spotted gars in Australia being imported from captive bred stock, or are they being bred in Australia?
I've heard of one guy in Sydney that's breeding them, but I'm not sure where mine come from, to be honest. I got them when they were young from Sydney. I don't know if they were locally bred or they were like a Facebook buy, so I'm not sure.
There's almost like a bit of a subculture, isn't there, mate, with the unusual fish, the monster fish on Facebook. There's a bit of a hush hush kind of thing, a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Is that because why is that? Is that because people are scared of theft or like?
I don't know if you're really. I don't know. It's like you're not meant to have them. They're sort of illegal, but they're not illegal. It's a grey area, I think.
Are these on the allowable import list?
I don't even know, to be honest. I don't really want to know.
Oh, look, there's plenty around. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Like, I've seen alligator gar and everything around here. I think they're the illegal ones, the alligator gar.
Right.
But I think these are all right. But to be honest, these could live in our waterways. I've researched they can live in water below 10 degrees and up to over 30 degrees.
Are they American? Are they an American fish?
Yeah, yeah. And they're an air breather too.
So from North America or?
Yeah, I think they're all around that, from Florida sort of thing. I think they're all around that way.
Okay. All right. And they basically look to me like a cross between a long tom, which is a saltwater fish, and a bashir and a garfish. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, they do look like a brashear. They've got a mouthful of razor teeth, but
Yeah. So
yeah.
are you having? Will they take pellets?
Yeah, they eat pellets. They sort of eat them off the bottom and they'll sort of come sideways like a crocodile and bite them sideways.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it a hard process to get them to take pellets?
Yeah, it does take a while. But mine have always eaten pellets.
Yeah.
I think a lot of fish will look at other fish, I reckon. That if you got one fish eating pellets, the other ones will sort of start following.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think.
yeah, absolutely. They do learn.
Yeah.
100%. Do you have any issues with interspecies aggression in that tank? It's pretty heavily stocked, or that might be a secret to not having aggression.
No, I've only got species aggression in this tank. And that's the Saratoga.
All right, let's go there.
They're hard to get like each other. But they're starting to get along.
So you've got Jardine at the top.
Yeah, he's a big Jardini. Another Jardini, a small one. And the Licardi.
Licardi there. So what's the aggression situation going on there? Is it from the Jardinis? From the big one?
Yeah, I think it's sort of like a hierarchy thing. They all sort of want to be the boss. And yeah, I've had to remove this big guy a few times and put him in timeout.
So how big is he?
He's about 55 centimeters, but he's really thick.
Yeah, they are.
He's got a lot of girth in him, and the smaller one's about 35.
Yep.
But I found that the Licardis just grow so much quicker, and it doesn't take him long for the Licardi to catch up to him and overtake him. But touch wood, they've been there a few months together, and they haven't really been fighting at all. You can see the Licardi's got a bit of a bit nut tail there, where they did have a bit of a brawl.
Yeah. So you don't, because I know, like I was talking to Phil Porter from Cost, about the jade perch and the mangrove jack, and he moved on his Jardini recently because he just couldn't handle the aggression. It was just
with what?
With
other fish.
Yeah, not peacock bass, Australian bass.
Yeah, okay.
What else was in there? I can't think what else was in there, but it was just between that and the mangrove jack, he just found he couldn't handle the stress anymore of having these fish that would bash up each other. And
I've never really had that. Never had them bash up other fish. just sort of each other.
Have you got are they eating pellets, Grubby?
Yeah, they eat pellets, bugs, chicken necks, bloody everything. It was funny you said that you started feeding yours chicken. You know, I had a really big Liccardi like 2 years ago, and I used to feed him half a chicken neck all the time, and dog biscuits and everything, and he loved it all.
Yeah. You know what? I've got a problem now though because he won't take. I mean, he eats bugs. They always eat bug, cockroaches, and crickets, but it's never taken pellets.
Oh, really?
And it used to take prawns, but now it won't even take prawns. Now it just wants to eat bugs and chicken necks.
Yeah, okay, you've spoiled him. I'll throw a couple in here and see if they eat them. I've got some of these Dimax floating pellets, and they seem to like these. But normally they go straight for them, but it might be a bit scared.
It's because there's a camera at the front of the tank. The fish hate cameras.
Yeah, not going to eat them now.
Nah.
Well, this one might. But no, they do eat pellets straight away, I've found. These guys do.
Yeah.
And the prawns, I give them prawns and everything like that, and squid, and they sort of love it all.
See, I've tried. I've got squid from my saltwater tanks. They don't like that. He doesn't like that. He used to take the prawns until the chicken necks arrived, and yeah. So now I'm stuck with chicken necks and bugs.
What about bassa fillets?
Never tried bassa.
Yeah, I just buy that seafood mix from Aldi. And like they eat the mussels and everything. They eat all that stuff. See, the squid rings, the bassa.
I think part of it is the when like you're saying before, when they see the other fish going for it, that they will learn from the other fish.
Yeah.
And in that tank is only sooty grunters, some barred grunters, and some rainbows, and and some mullet. And they all feed from the bottom pretty much, which is completely different. Like they feed on sinking pellets, which is completely different to what the Toga wants to eat.
Yeah. Well, a lot of these guys used to smash the surface, but now they just eat off the bottom. And I know you don't like bare bottom tanks, but it's just so much easier. Look how clean that is.
Look how clean that is. Okay, so while we're doing that, let's talk about this system. It's a 10-foot by 2.5 by 2.5.
Yeah.
You're probably going to have to debulk some fish in a little while, but
yeah. That's just a winter thing. I've got to get them out. I'm going to change. I'm changing up tanks and that soon.
We always are. How is it filtered?
It's got a 5 by 2 by 2 sump on it, which I've got a bit of. I've actually started lining a few of my tanks with that styrofoam stuff.
Yep.
Just to sort of keep heat in, but yeah, that's the sump down there.
Okay. You got what's the red return pump you got going?
It's called like a Zoink.
Right. I think
eBay pump.
Oh yeah.
They're variable speed too. Like that's on a timer now, and you can stop it and feed it, and you can crank it up to 20,000 liters per hour, or you can turn it down to, I think it's pretty low, 2,000 or something.
So I'm about to get. There's Lawson put me onto. Do you know Lawson Fox?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, John does. He's the one that has all those ponds outside. Where I got my he gifted me my current Saratoga.
Yeah.
And he put me onto these return pumps that are like a 40,000 litre an hour return pump. He was using pool pumps as his return pump. And like 1 horsepower return. I think a horsepower is like 850 watts or something.
Yeah.
And so he replaced all those with these 40,000 litre pumps. And they're just I actually found them on Alibaba. And I hate the way people poo-poo like Chinese shit. because they're all massively. This is more of a saltwater thing than a freshwater thing, but because it's very brand loyal in saltwater rather than freshwater. But these pumps, man, I've seen what they're doing at Lawson's, and he's got them at like 50% on a giant pond. Like you saw his ponds, I think, the big aquaculture ponds and the big IBC or rainwater tank.
Yeah,
filter.
I've had a couple of chats with him too. Yeah, he's got a good setup there.
Yeah, and he's got them turn up like 50%. Like, it's amazing. And questions. I saw Pratty87 talking about marinara mix from Coles. Pratty, the only reason I turned off using marinara mix was because I think the marinara mix is cooked. Like, the prawns themselves have got that real curl around them, and the mussels.
I found the Aldi stuff's cheaper, and you can buy like a bag of raw prawns, you can buy a bag of bassa fillets, and you can buy the bag of marinara mix. And I think the stuff from Coles and that might even have like what's that green sort of green, the green parsley. I think they got parsley in it.
They got parsley in it, yeah.
Yeah, but the stuff from Aldi seems to be the cheapest, I reckon.
I used to use that a long time ago, but I just literally made up some more flat packs, and I bought breast chicken fillet, and prawns, a couple of squid, and some snapper fillet, and blitzed that up.
You'd hate what I was feeding the bloody catfish and the bass the other week after my Southwest Rocks fishing trip. I was feeding the spotted mackerel and tuna.
There you go.
Oily fish, but they were loving it.
Mackerel's good because it got the oil.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Really oily.
Phil Porter says, do my sooties eat floating pellets? Yeah, they do, mate. If I put in the 9mm pellets, which I bought to try and feed the Toga doesn't eat them, but the sooties will. They will.
He won't eat them. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they will, yeah. Pratty, what fish are you feeding that mix to? Tanya's eel is just starting to take prawns. Your mixture, your marinara mix, what are you feeding your marinara mix to?
Me, everything.
Oh, it says Pratty. It's Pratty.
Oh.
You feed everything except for do you feed it to your peacock bass as well?
Yeah. I feed to the minnows.
Well, I was going to say before that I thought maybe you had those minnows as a breeding colony to feed the bigger fish, but I didn't want to go there.
Nah, I don't do it. I don't believe in that. But no, I'll sort of mash it up and because there's 600s in the L600 catfish in there as well, and they like the mussels and all that, so whatever falls to the bottom, I'll eat. I actually made some fish food up the other day, the first time I've done it, with just marinara mix blended up with spirulina, and sort of froze it into a big pad, and the fish have been loving that.
All right. Well, Pratty's just said, and a scoop of dried spirulina. There you go.
Yeah, they love that.
And if you go to the Whole Food stores, my one in Coffs has got the powdered spirulina there, like in bulk. It's cheap as chips, very dark green. And right next to it is powdered bull kelp. So if I'm doing one for like saltwater fish, I get the spirulina as well as the bull kelp.
My phone's going down to 10%. I might need to just whack it on charge.
All right, mate.
I can still talk to you. I'll just put it on charge here.
Yeah, that's cool. Jack Spencer 63 says the brand loyalty in saltwater pumps is weird when most of the pumps are manufactured in China. Absolutely, mate. You look at an AI return pump. What's it called? The one that Aqualumination, the one that's the tall one that sucks from the bottom like a sump pump, and they're exactly the same as Jabal versions of them. You look at their AI wave makers, the 3, the 5, and the 7, it's exactly the same. And everyone thinks that they're being knocked off by the Chinese pump. The Chinese manufacturers are knocking off the big brands, but it's not the case at all. They're just being made in the one factory. The OEM factory is popping out these pumps, and different people are branding them differently. But it's I don't get it. I don't know why saltwater is so brand loyal, like to a weird degree, to a degree that's almost offensive. If you get in an argument almost about it, I don't get it.
Yeah.
There you go. Same factory, different sticker. And Tanya says this is a cooking segment for our fish. Now, Shaun.
That when I'm dealing with much smaller goldfish.
This is a series of questions for you that are a fast question that requires a fast answer. If I can get rid of the comment that's on the page. There we go. If Asian arowana was successfully added to the list of allowable imported fish, which I believe they are on the list of a current movement towards increasing that list, will you buy one?
Probably. Yeah.
How much would you expect to buy one?
Look, I've seen them pretty dear here, but I don't know. I'd probably pay $1,000 or something for one.
They are in Australia already, aren't they? Obviously.
Oh yeah. I've seen them for around about that 3.5 mark.
3.5. Wow. How did they get into Australia originally? Was it by eggs?
I think they just still come in illegally.
Yeah, but how? Like as a fish or as an egg?
Yeah, I think so. I think just as a fish. I don't think they would transport eggs. I don't know. To be honest, but I think they're coming in as small fish, hidden in bags of other fish.
So for people out there who don't quite understand, my understanding of Asian arowanas is because they are on CITES listed as being endangered as a species in their natural habitat, they can't be traded. And that's the reason why North America, I should clarify, the USA won't allow them to be held in captivity in that country. I don't really understand why Australia and Canada, for example, Canada does allow them.
Yeah, Canada can have them. We have. Australia's weird. If they're here, they're sort of all right to have, but you can't import them.
Yeah. And we can have silver arowanas, but they're not on the endangered list. They're not on CITES, are they?
Yeah, we can have silvers.
This is not a quick hitting question and answer, is it? This is a deep
I've
dive.
kept silvers before. Silvers are a nice fish. I've had a couple of them.
Is it true that they're really jumpy?
Yeah, that's how I lost it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And yet the thing with the Asians is that they're being bred by the massive in farms over in Singapore and I think Thailand. And I think I was reading a book. Have you read the book? It's The Dragon Behind the Glass.
No, I haven't.
Read it. You got to buy it online. Dragon Behind the Glass, and it's referring to the dragonfish, the arowana, in an aquarium, and it's written by a lady who is a journalist from New York, and she sets about to investigate the basis that, the situation with the Asian arowana, but it doesn't just stop there. It goes into the Myanmar arowana, so the species that was recently described up in Myanmar or Burma, which is like it's got this hieroglyphic pattern down it. She tries to find these Asian arowanas in their habitat. Goes into like villages and stuff. Heiko Blair is in there. And also different types of collectors and taxonomists, and it's just and also touches on the underbelly of the trade, as well as the ones that are doing the farming. She goes into silver arowana territory with Heiko, I think, in South America. It's a really good read. The
Yeah,
Dragon
right.
Glass.
I'll have to
Really
look
good
into
book.
it.
Really good book.
They are a great looking fish, but then you get people tanning them and to bring
Oh, yeah.
colours out, and yeah,
And making them
something.
in short body. That's just
Yeah. I've
All
seen
right.
a video on Instagram the other day. A guy was given a cosmetic surgery, and he was using pliers on the top lip and bending them up and trimming the bottom jaw to make it look like more pronounced. And they performed surgery on the drop eye, and
Yeah.
yeah. They do get drop eye really bad. Them silvers over here too.
The
The
silver's
Saratogas don't really. Yeah, the Saratogas don't seem to get it, but the silvers get it pretty easily.
well, that might lie with the fact that they are A, more jumpy, and B, maybe take a lot more terrestrial insects and birds maybe than what is
Yeah.
offered in the area. Maybe if they're offered pellets or seafood or fish that fall to the bottom of the tank, when they're used to constantly looking up and jumping up, maybe it just drags their face down. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe the light's too bright for their eyes, or it could be anything really.
And they're big fish, aren't they? The silver's a big fish.
Yeah, they can get pretty big. I think they
Yeah.
get around that 3 foot.
Yeah. All right. Question number 2. Grubby, have you considered saltwater monster fish?
No.
Question number 3.
There's a whole ocean out there for big fish. I don't think we should keep them in aquariums.
Fair. Okay. All right. Shall we? All right. We're going to have to touch on that shortly, but I have to ask you number 3 question before we touch on that. Is it a prerequisite? I'll start again. Is it a prerequisite that giant men keep giant fish? I'm referring to you. Or Or were you simply teased about your white cloud minnows?
No, I've never been teased about them, but I believe giant men keep giant fish. Even John there, John's about the same height as me, and he keeps a lot of big fish.
So it's scale, is it?
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
So these guys are just basic, they're just a basic kind of average fish. If you're 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
All right. So, and that was quick tips.
That's when I'm dealing with much smaller goldfish.
So tell me, you think, so in saltwater, there's saltwater fish that which I agree with, but I'm interested to hear your thoughts. There's big saltwater fish that are being kept that shouldn't be in aquaria.
Yeah, I think I sent you something the other day actually about those freshwater groper.
Yeah, the Queensland groper. Yeah. Bumblebee.
What are they,
groper.
like a 6 foot fish? Like
I think they get bigger than that.
why are they in the trade, to be honest? But yeah, okay.
Yeah,
No, I don't believe in keeping fish that big.
Do you know the reason why I think they're in the trade is because they're called, number one, a bumblebee groper. So they're given a fancy name. And number 2, they can be kept in fresh water when they're young.
Yeah.
So it's exactly the same story as people that want to keep a mangrove jack, they want to keep a barramundi. They're getting that they can keep it easily because it's fresh water, not salt.
Yeah.
And the concept of it being a monster fish is cool, but not thought through thoroughly.
They're a pretty one fish, one tank sort of thing. Like that Paul from Queensland, he's got one, and it's always destroying wave makers, and he needs a bigger tank for that too. So.
Oh, the Paul Stingray guy.
Yeah, he has one I think it's a 63 or something like that, and it's getting too big for that. And I think he's moving it to a 94 or something like that. But that might house it for a little bit longer.
That's the thing. Like, what are you going to do with these fish? What is someone going to do with these fish?
Yeah.
And if you think about the number of barramundi that are sold through pet barn or aquarium stores because they're aquacultured, so they're easily obtained by the retailer from the wholesale level, and they're cheap because they're aquacultured. So what's a barramundi at a pet barn or something? At a pet barn, $17 or something?
Yeah, yeah.
And we're dealing with a fish that gets a metre long.
But what happens to all these fish? Where are they? Like,
That's exactly my point.
Yeah,
Where
all
are
dying.
they?
Yeah.
They're dead is what the answer is. They're all dead. That's just, it's, to me, that's screwed. And I know, like, I eat fish. I go fishing. I catch Moses perch and I catch flatties and I eat salmon on the barbecue sometimes. So I'm not stupid. I get that. But I also think there's just something seriously wrong with going into, from an aquarist perspective, keeping a fish that gets that big and ignoring the fact that it's just going to get there and that you can't accommodate it and no one else can either. Like, I mean, maybe I don't know if John's still out there. John probably knows more about this than I do, but like, I wonder how many people out there in the world of native freshwater keepers have got big 2.5 foot barramundi in their backyards. Yeah. Maybe there's more than I think. Do you know people out there like that?
No, I did. I had one that got to about that 60 centimeter and then ended up dying. That was years ago, but no, I haven't.
Do you think that it needs salt water by that stage?
I think they do. That's what I was going to say. Have you ever thought about putting one in one of your tanks in salt water?
No, because they're a big grey fish that's not very pretty.
True.
What's the appeal? I don't get it. Yeah. Unless it's one of those.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, unless it's one of those platinum or the platinum or the gold ones or something, that might be different.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, all these fish are getting to a size, these jacks, Murray cods.
Yeah, Murray cods are the they get massive.
But you don't see, I saw one guy in Coffs Harbour, he had a 6x4x2 tank and he had a Murray cod in it, and it was probably about 2.5 foot.
And what was it doing? Laying on the bottom?
Yeah. A big log, and he was just hiding under it. And then about 1 year ago, so this is about 2 years later, I saw his ad. He was selling the tank up for sale. No fish.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
the guy got that 10-foot tank off. He had a Murray cod in that before, and it died the same thing, and he just got over it, so he sold it.
It died too.
Yeah.
Do you reckon for the Murray cod, for example, it's ammonia that's doing it?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never really kept them, but maybe.
Like, because they don't need salt water, obviously. But no. I wonder maybe if the filter gets overloaded eventually.
They can't handle it. Maybe. Do they need cold water?
Oh, probably.
They live in cold water, don't they? Yeah, me either.
So maybe there's an oxygen demand situation going on there.
Maybe.
Yeah. But anyway, so it just seems bizarre that, I mean, I understand the reason why these Murray cods and barramundi are going through chain stores like Pet Barn, but it's kind of screwed, to be honest with you. I honestly think it is. Brontosaurus, there you go. Why did Praddy say Brontosaurus? That's my local pet store. I don't know why Praddy said that. Brontosaurus. Yeah, that's my only remain. I haven't got an aquarium store in Coffs Harbour anymore. Adam did have a different Adam had an aquarium store in Coffs, but found it a little bit too hard with the burden of online buying and whatnot. So, yeah.
So you got no Coffs Harbour pet shops, good ones.
just Pet Barn and Brontosaurus, which is just a generic pet store with some freshwater fish. They tried saltwater for a while, but they just
Yeah, okay.
canned it. Now, I got to ask a favour of you, mate.
Yeah.
I'm older than you. I got to go and hang a leak, and you have to show us. I'm pretty sure that you've got one tank left there with the big red finned fish.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully my phone doesn't flat. But yeah, I'll be showing you.
Do you want to walk the audience through that tank and that fish? Do you reckon you can hold it by yourself for a while?
Yeah, that's fine.
So maybe
How
tell
long
the
are you
back.
gonna take?
Maybe tell. Oh fuck, mate.
20 minutes, 25.
It could be a stop, start.
Yeah.
Maybe talk through where you got it from, how big it was, what you're feeding it. Have you had any challenges with the filtration, the growth rate, what it's like, that kind of stuff? I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah, okay. Righto, all good.
All right.
Righto. Got one stupid fish I shouldn't have. A red-tailed catfish. I know we were just talking about fish that are too big for tanks and you shouldn't have them. And yeah, I shouldn't have this guy. He's going to outgrow this tank and get 3-4 foot long. I got him at probably 10 centimeters. I think I've had him a bit over a year, and yeah, he's about 50 something centimeters and pretty wide. But yeah, he needs a massive tank. He's in an 8x2 at the moment. And yeah, he's going to need a massive tank. I do have a 6 meter by 2 meter pond outside that I'm thinking of setting up, and he's going to go in it. So maybe that.
That's the fiberglass one that you were showing me pictures of?
Yeah, because where it is, that's where I want to extend my shed and make my fish room. I was thinking about enclosing and having it inside, but I'm not sure yet. I'd like it outside. As I told you, I'd like a window in it, but it's going to be too hard to do that. But yeah.
So
that's when he needs even bigger than that.
Sorry, I should go back in the chat. How big is he now?
He bites your fingers too. He's about 50 centimeters. Well, that tank's 2 foot wide, and he's not quite hitting the back of it yet. So
okay. And where'd you get him from?
A mate got him, and then he didn't want him, and I said I'd take him, and yeah, I haven't regretted that. He's a cool fish, but yeah, he's just not going to get too big.
I think I saw Atlas Aquarium had a tiny one up there for about $800, I think.
Yeah, they got a few at the moment.
Are they being bred in captivity?
I think they're pretty easy to breed. I'm not sure if they're being bred in Australia, but in America they're like $8 or something US to buy these things.
Yeah.
And they're selling them flat out over there, and they can interbreed with other species as well, like the tiger shovelnose. They interbreed with them, and you get the hybrids, and yeah.
The tiger shovelnose get longer, don't they?
Yeah, they get long. The ones I've seen here have bent faces because the cartilage in their nose gets broken all the time from smashing the glass.
Okay.
Because they have that longer nose. But yeah, he's hungry all the time. I try and limit his feeding, but he'll eat as much as you can give him. That's why he's in this tank, because he was eating all the bass food. He'd eat all the food before the bass and he could eat it.
Yeah. Do you tell me, because I've got some comments here about, like, from the UK, about people buying them over there in the UK for 3-foot tanks. We've seen the same. I don't know if you watch predatory fins on YouTube.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Yep. And you can't help but think when you see all these fish that people are buying them without knowing, or not. Well, they know, but they pretend that it'll be fine. Are they a fish that is worth buying?
They're pretty interactive. They're a pretty interactive, cool fish. They're really, really hardy. So I don't know where all the big ones are going over there, but they're hard to kill. If you understand, like they're a pretty hardy fish.
Yeah.
I had this guy, I thought he was going to die. I had smaller rocks in here. Like there's baby bristlenose in there. There you go. He doesn't even eat them.
Oh, yeah.
And he ate the rocks. I'm talking about rocks like that big. He ate them, and I could feel them in his stomach.
And then what? He pooed them out?
No, regurgitated them back up. I thought he was going to die because I could see him in his gut. His guts were huge, and apparently that's something they do. They can eat rocks and eat anything.
So are they? And he's taking pellets?
Yeah, he'll eat anything. He eats chicken necks, bloody whatever I can give to him. I normally just feed him a slab of bassa fillet or something like that.
Yeah. And so I'm just trying to gather, like, because I think some fish have this mindset, oh, it's cool, I'm gonna buy it because it's cool. But sometimes I just wonder how good, as like the Murray cod is a classic example. To me, that, you know, every time I see a Murray cod, and I had a good friend in Sydney that had one for a long time, they sit under a log doing nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't rate that as being a really worthwhile aquarium purchase. I'm wondering how you feel about these red-tailed cats.
Well, he'll just sit there like he is most of the day, but if you come in here and want to feed him, he's straight to you. He's interactive like that. He'll come straight to the surface and get his food, and he comes on command if you tap the glass sort of thing. And
okay,
they're a bit better. They're a bit better than them. They're a bit more interactive. I can see why people like them.
Okay. So I don't know if you addressed what was going to happen in the future with him. What tank's he in at the moment? Is it a 6 or 8 or something?
It's an 8x2.
Yep. Which is plenty big enough at the moment.
Yeah, my goal I think I was going to move all the geos into here and rescape it and put him in the 73. It's got that bit wider for him, and maybe put a few bass in there with him, the bigger bass. I did it. This is the timeout tank for the Giardini as well, where the Giardini normally goes when he's beaten the fish up, which he's been in a couple of times. So they get along fine. So I might even do that.
Okay.
I'm not sure. But yeah, I don't know. He needs something big, like 4 foot wide at least.
Yeah. Are they a fish, although that they're big, are they a fish that probably doesn't need as much surface area because they're not as active?
Yeah, I think so.
Like
he'll go on the hunt of a night. He'll go up and down, and sort of hunting around when it's dark.
So if you were to have an ideal tank for him, what size would it be?
It'd have to go like something similar size to your freshwater tank, I reckon. At least like a 12. What's that, 12 before?
Yeah.
I reckon something like that, but maybe a bit deeper.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Next time I come up, I might bring you a present.
Well, that 12x4 is going to be saltwater pretty soon, I reckon.
Yeah, right.
That's the reason why I asked you, what would you put in an 8x4?
What's the Saratoga moving?
No, that one. No.
Yeah, isn't that the 12?
I thought you meant the outside one.
Oh, yeah. No, that'll be good. Saltwater.
Yeah, that's be saltwater, which means that my inside saltwater is going to be at the 8x4 by 2.5 is going to be freshwater.
That'll be
why
cool.
I throw that question in all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, you could go in that if you want him in there.
John says he gets what we're saying about barra, cod, and Queensland groper, that they're not great aquarium specimens due to their aggression. Barramundi do not require any salt. Heaps of guys have 2 foot plus barra. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
I think the thing that I find, I guess my thought process is that every fish that's legal should be available to purchase, because that's the way we learn and develop our hobby, our techniques, even hard to keep fish that die from starvation or whatnot. They should be available for people that are dedicated to try and figure them out. What I don't think is that they should be available like a can of Coke is at the checkout of Bunnings.
Yeah.
I feel like they should be, you go into Paul, for example, and say, hey, Paul, I really want to keep a group of barramundi. I'm doing this. Can you order some in for me? As opposed to them just being there and the checkout bloke who's 16 just goes and nets out a couple of barra to another guy who's 20 and has a 4-foot tank.
Yeah, no questions asked, just sold.
Yeah, that's my thought process. I think everything should be available because I think there's so much to do, but it just needs to be not necessarily so bloody easy. But then again, who am I? I'm a hypocrite. I'm eating freaking salmon for dinner. Color morphs. John has said about color morphs. I think he might be referring to the barramundi, the golden and the platinum barramundi.
Yeah, these come in them as well.
Yeah.
You can get a platinum one of these and a gold one.
Okay. And John's also mentioned about barramundi over a metre long in plenty of freshwater reservoirs in northern Queensland.
You can. Yeah.
I think though, don't the barras require, the big females have to develop in salt water? I think I was reading something where to transition to female, the younger boys had to go through that salinity change.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So, mate, is it a case where the barras in the impoundments? Fuck, what is it with Queensland and bloody stocking all their impoundments with fish that aren't supposed to be there? It's like it's a hobby of them or something. There's Saratoga in Gold Coast, and it's just weird. And yet, I was with Lawson on the Mary River, where Saratogas don't live naturally, and you can't fish them, even though they're there. It's like, what the fuck?
Did I send you that? There's a young fellow on Instagram who's in, I think, southeast Queensland, and he's got a really big dam, and he's stocked it full of barramundi, and he's starting to stock it with mangrove jack.
Oh,
like
no,
40 centimetre. Yeah, I have to send it. So he can catch them all, and he's got barramundi and jack and everything in there.
That's the go.
It's a massive, really big dam.
We're going backwards, but John also mentions that the cods, as we suspected, don't like temperatures above 24 degrees because, let's face it, they're from inland waters.
Well, that might be a reason a lot of them die then, because unless you run the chiller around here, you're not going to keep your water at 24, really.
Nah. And bigger fish have a higher oxygen demand, so maybe in the summertime, especially as the warmer water can't dissolve as much oxygen, maybe that's what's happening.
Yeah.
There was a question from, I think it was from Tanya about Tandanis cats. Do you want to turn your phone around, mate?
I'll put it back in charge.
All right, mate. I think it was about
the eel tail. Well, they're all local around here, I think.
There we go. Do we know how big the tent? Well, I think that, what's the size, mate? If you go on Fishes of Australia, I think they say Tandas get to about 75 or 90.
Yeah, I've seen them about that 70.
Have you?
Pretty big. Yeah.
I've never seen them that big up here. They've always been about the 2 foot mark.
Yeah, I've seen a fair few. They are. You can catch them around here too. I haven't caught one myself, but yeah.
And apparently they're very good to eat as well.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I think you have to do something particular. You nail them up and you strip the skin off, and then there's something else you got to do to. I think you put them in vinegar or something. I don't know. All I know is that I'm not going to keep one in an aquarium again because they make an absolute mess. Have you ever kept them in an aquarium?
No, that's the one you had in that IBC with the
Yeah,
ferrets
and
on it.
then I put it into the 12x4, and it just. I thought, oh, it'll be all right. The filter would take care of any. Nah, fucking just constant.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like a stingray, I suppose. They mess a bit of the bottom up too.
I think stingrays, well, at least the saltwater stingrays, from my experience, are better because their disc kind of covers the. Like you get a bit of silt that puffs up from underneath the disc, but a lot of that disc is like an umbrella and it holds the silt underneath it. This is in saltwater rays. I'm assuming it's the same. Going through the chat, mate. That's all. Making sure I don't miss any questions. I've been blamed for missing questions occasionally. Baroneted breed in saltwater. That's what I thought. John Tron. Euryhaline fish survive the whole lives in fresh, just can't complete the life cycle by keeping the general hardness alkalinity high. This is a very interesting point, John, and this is something that I'm thinking about doing a video on silver scats, which I've got in my tank, and I've kept in the past in freshwater and in saltwater. And I was gonna target it as being one of the most user-friendly or versatile, I guess I should say, of one of the native fish, but keeping in a high hardness and alkalinity. So that's one of the things I find with people that want to keep monos and scats. I guess the same could go with archerfish, but when I transitioned my archerfish back to freshwater, they actually got mouth fungus straight away because my alkalinity and my hardness is 0 from the bore, and I started putting alkalinity buffer into the tank to bring it up to about 4 DKH, and then mouth stuff disappeared straight away. But what I'm wondering, when I kept the scats back in the day, I kept them in a Tanganyikan cichlid tank, which is kind of weird, I know. But I was keeping the pH at 8.4 to do that. And so what John said then about those kind of euryhaline fish that want to go to salt water, it makes a bit of sense that if you are going to keep them in fresh water, that you do so with a pretty high hardness level in the water, because that's what at least a saltwater environment would have.
Yeah.
Have you got any experience keeping those kind of fish?
Nah, not really. I've
No.
really been into it. Nah.
I rate them. But when people, and this kind of makes sense as well, the times I've seen people that keep monodactylus, the diamond fish.
Yeah, they're like we used to call them darts or whatever. Those little sort of angel-looking fish.
Yeah. Butterbrim, yeah. And they'll keep them in tanks like with their rainbow fish and stuff. But rainbow fish tanks,
really?
planted tanks generally aren't the water's not hard enough, and I've found they're not very thrifty like that. But then you put them in for me, marine, and they do really well. But I wondered maybe if you were to keep them, like I mentioned, in with a real high hardness tank, maybe it makes a difference. Pratty 87, are you interested in native fish at all?
Me? I've got a Saratoga.
You got 3.
Yeah, I got 3. Got a couple of silver perch and a couple of those jade perch. That's about it, really.
That's about
it. A couple of gudgeons, I think.
Snakehead gudgeons are awesome.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they are. They're just ones I caught locally, and they're just out in the pond.
Are they big or little?
Probably only 10, 15 centimetres, maybe 10 centimetres.
So they could be like a flathead gudgeon or a striped
gudgeon?
gudgeon?
Something like that. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
that.
Pratty, asks, where are the goldfish?
Oh yeah, I can show you if you want. It's just two
You
little
know,
ones I got inside.
yeah, come on.
I got big ones outside.
He also said he forgot the fact that you got the Saratogas, which are native, obviously. Here we go. Couple of comments. How'd you end up with 2 bloody comments?
A guy, I saved them from a guy who was emptying his pond, and he had heaps of them, massive ones as well. And these were the 2 smallest, so I just thought I'd put them inside in a fish tank, and the rest are outside in an IBC.
So how did these 2 end up being
Just because they were small, because they were little, the smallest 2. My daughter likes playing with them, so yeah.
Fair enough. So I completely got it wrong by putting a fancy goldfish on the thumbnail because you got a couple of. Mate, what's the biggest challenge for people that are keeping big fish? Obviously, they've got to have big tanks. Oh, there was a question somewhere about where in the world do you find all these big tanks?
A couple of mates and a couple of shops, and yeah, that's probably really about it.
I also know that you jump on a bargain when one appears.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for a bargain.
What happened to that? What happened to that square cube kind of fish tank that you bought?
That was the one the fry's growing out in. It's not a cube; it's a 4 by 2.5 by 2.5. That's what I bred the bass in as well.
Oh, I thought it was like a 4 by 4 by 2 or something. It was a real weird shape.
Nah. It was 4 by 2.5 by 2.5. Still a big tank. It was a marine tank, I think. Got it for really cheap.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay.
I've gotten the occasional free tank on Gumtree a few times as well. So. Yeah.
And a dirty big fiberglass.
Oh yeah, wasn't that a score? It doesn't hold water butts, so I need to repair it.
Yeah, all you gotta do is just sand it down and we'll re-epoxy it.
Yeah. I think I might have cut the divider out in it. You know how I had that divider to make it bigger? Yeah.
So for everybody out there, Shaun was he bought, what size is it? 6 by 2 meter, was it? Or
6 meter by 2 meter by 1 meter deep.
it's like a fiber,
like aquaponics pond or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flat bottom, freestanding.
Yeah, freestanding.
And I believe you were talking about putting a deck alongside of it so you can go swimming with the big fish.
Oh no, I don't want to do that.
Oh,
maybe deck it all in. I've been using ChatGTP to give me some designs, and it looks pretty good with a deck around it and everything like that.
Yeah, I've been watching. I don't know if you ever seen on YouTube. There's a channel called Camp Keenan or something down in Florida, and he's got these. He's got a swim pond, which is basically like a lake with a deck next to it.
Oh, that's the guy who wears like a cowboy hat and that.
Yeah, he's got these, and
he's got crocodiles and turtles. He's a turtle lover. Yeah, I've seen it.
He's got the giant flat pancake turtle things in there. I don't know what they are.
And it's full of cichlids. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I thought maybe that's what you were going for.
I would love to do that. I do have the room, but there's a company in Australia that does those sort of setups, and they're not cheap. But I would love to do that. Well,
you can build your own. Have you got the kind of soil that can hold water? You got clay?
Oh, not really. No. You got the room as well, haven't you? I think you should build one.
I do have the room, and funnily enough, out the front, because we're on the side of a hill, all the water comes down our property into these drainage channels that coalesce at the front, and we build concrete causeways and stuff. And early on, I thought to myself, fuck, that'd be an awesome place to put a dirty big pond or a dam or whatever, so that when it rains, it basically fills up, and then you have some sort of causeway situation that will overflow. So it just keeps on refreshing, so to speak.
That would be good.
I got a question that I've missed from Craig, and I've asked him what it was, and he hasn't answered me. He texted me personally to say that I've missed his question. So, Craig, if you're out there, I want to know what the question is. Text the question so we can get it answered. But I think, have you got anything else left? We're coming up on almost on 3 hours, mate. I know you've been working. Sean's been working for 7 days straight, and he's finished at 5 o'clock this afternoon. So we don't go too much longer. But is there anything else in your fish room that you feel like you need to share with the eager audience that they might be able to learn from?
Not really. That's pretty much everything, really. It's sort of winter, so I'm shutting down. I sort of try and shut down and a lot in winter, and in summer when we don't need heaters, I'll sort of expand more tanks out and breed a few things and all that. So, yeah.
Is there I'm not going to say a secret, but is there something that you need or you would recommend doing in terms of your sump filtration that is particular to keeping hefty fish? So, because you do run sumps, is there a media? Is there a volume of media? Is there a type of media? Is there a flow through rate? K1? Is there anything like that that you think is of benefit?
I've been trying a lot of different things lately. I've got a lot of bio, but I need to redo that sump. That's one thing I need to do. That 5x2's got a broken chamber in it, and it needs to be redone, but it's going to be a mission to do with the fish in there. I just run sort of a lot of bio balls in it, crushed coral, all that sort of stuff. I think I've even got some scoria in there.
Yeah, scoria is good.
Well, yeah, and a lot of they're like bio balls, but they're ceramic sort of, and the ceramic noodles and all that sort of stuff. A lot of that sort of stuff in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm forever looking at new ways and new things to change and change it up. I do have K1 in there. The guy I got the sump off and the tank had K1, but it would never work for him. So it's just in bags. It's not actually doing what K1's meant to do. It's just in bags. I'd like to get that set up.
Did he have it tumbling?
He tried it and he couldn't get it working. And I just wanted to redo the sump later. So I just it's just in mesh bags, just sitting in there. Still doing what it needs to do, but it's not moving like it should.
Yeah, okay.
I was actually thinking about putting that 8B2 underneath that 10-footer and making a even bigger sump for it. But I don't know. I might do that. Not sure.
So I got two questions for you from me. Number one, where do you get crushed coral from?
I bought heaps of it years ago from a local fish shop, like a 20-kilo bag, and that's sort of just kept me going.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Because I've looked for crushed coral these days, not just in a jar for a calcium reactor for saltwater aquariums, like as a bag of it. And you used to be able to buy bags of aragonite for different grains and stuff, like Aquariums R Us up in the Goldie. But now you can't really track it down unless it's wrapped in a Carib Sea bag from the Bahamas or something.
Okay.
And it costs a fortune.
Well, these are all like big chunks of it too.
Yeah.
It's like when I went to Samoa years ago, and the beaches are lined with it there, and it's pretty much the same stuff.
Yeah, I know, but you've got to get it though.
Yeah, I know. You don't have it up that way anywhere?
No.
Okay. I haven't really tried to source it down here for a while, but I'm not sure if it's hard to get.
Mate, I honestly think I'm thinking about a beach up just south of Townsville. It's called Balgal Beach. And the beach is just crushed coral of different grades. And then there's great big coral chunks that have washed up, dead, dry, white on the beach. And it's like that one beach, you could go up there with a van. It's probably completely illegal. And
probably.
And grab the pieces of coral and sell them off to the there's a sideline hobby, a sideline money maker. Sell it off to the fish tank guy, to the the reefers guys as their rock aquascape. Sell it off to the Tanganyikan cichlid, the Malawi cichlid guys as their base rock, and then get the crushed coral and sell it off as filter media. So my next
Yeah.
question for you, though, is for these big tanks, and if you've got fish that will, you've got a bare bottom tank up there, for example, with your peacock bass, what do you think about the concept of having, in saltwater, it's called a refugium, but basically it's a macro algae scrubber. And what that means is that you grow macro algae, seaweeds, in a separate compartment of the sump under lighting, and a little bit of dosing of some micro elements like iron to get them growing properly. And in the process of growing, they strip the nitrate, phosphate, and ammonia out of the water. So do you hear much about the concept of having like a 6-foot tank underneath there full of substrate and growing, say, for example, a huge bed of Vallisneria?
Oh, I've sort of ummed and ahed with that before, because the sump under that 73 is a 6 by 2.5, and I've contemplated just using like pots and that in there and trying that, but no, I haven't gone all out. I do have plants in pots down there, just so that they're not doing the best. I don't know. I probably would. I wouldn't. That would be a pretty good idea. I've always thought about it.
Well, the other thing is could be potentially, like, you obviously have to light it, but potentially rather than even putting a substrate with Vallisneria or hygrophila or something, you could put floating plants under there.
Yeah, well, that's sort of similar to what I've got. I'll show you what I've got here. Yeah, this one's sort of lit up. And it's got floating plants and it's got some plants in it. But yeah, I could sand that whole thing out.
Yeah, well, I mean, like
that same way.
Fill it chockers, absolutely chockers with plants.
Yeah, I'm guessing I probably could try that.
I mean, obviously,
try new things.
You are already saying that you're getting 0 on your nitrate readings, which is the ideal scenario. Are you doing water changes on a regular?
Yeah, probably weekly now. Only low, but I've been trying to do it with heated water, and I used to just do it with cold water straight up. I've been trying to heat the water first and just do smaller water changes just to see if anything's different. But yeah, probably weekly.
What percentage?
Yeah, probably a quarter at the moment.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the
same on all the tanks. I don't. The planted tank I don't really water change as much, maybe once a month.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of them about weekly.
Yeah. Okay. Do you run carbon?
I've only just put carbon in it because I cleaned out half the sump on that 10-footer, and it sort of put a bit of murk into the water from stirring a bit of sludge up, and that was in there for about a week. So I put some carbon in it just to clear it up. But I've heard that carbon's not the best. I've been reading the carbon dust can get into the geos and give them hole in the head and that sort of thing. So I'm only going to run it until I need to, and then I'll just pull it out.
Well, that's the same thing with saltwater tanks. There's certain types of fish called surgeon fish that are really prone to getting, and some big angelfish, they can get hole in the head. And supposedly carbon's related to that, but it's to do with the dust and the fines. So if you rinse it out.
Yeah, the carbon dust. That's what I do. Yeah. I rinse it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think I get this carbon that I've got for years, and it's only just one brand of carbon, and it'll make your tank go crystal clear. I don't know what it is. It's some Chinese brand that only one shop sells. And within a few days, your tank goes really clear.
Do you know what brand it is?
No, it's some Asian brand. I don't even know. Actually, I might have the bag here.
Hang on. I'm going to do a nice shout out. So what's great?
I threw the bag away. I don't know. But it's
there's no shout out.
Some Asian brand, but it works so good.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll give my little shout out then. I bought some carbon, a 20 litre bucket of it, like a bucket.
Yeah.
It was about $100. and you buy it from Fresh by Design. Have you used those guys?
No.
So look it up. Fresh by. Hang on. Let me see if I can find it on screen share, because they're a really good company. I think I might have even done them before. Share screen. Hang on. I've got Instagram sharing here at the moment. Let me get rid of that. Oh, there's my face. That's just terrible. Just pretend you're not. Just pretend you're not seeing. I'm assuming you can see my screen share. Can you?
Yeah.
Fresh by Design is an aquaculture company down in Mossvale or Mittagong. Mossvale, which is down the Southern Highlands of Sydney. And when you go into their page, they've got all the, here you go, mate, aquaculture tanks. That'll be up your alley.
Yeah, I think me and you were talking about this.
Can you see all
Weren't
those?
you looking? Yeah. Weren't you looking at like a barrel filter or something you were talking about last week?
I was. Yep,
I've seen there's
absolutely.
a couple of UK guys that I follow on YouTube, and they run these massive ones for their koi ponds over there.
These
Like
things,
really big.
drum filters.
Yeah, them really big drum filters.
Yeah, I think I did contact them, and I think this brand here, which is Hex, I think they have a non-metallic. So that's the issue there. That screen,
Yeah. Okay.
that screen there's usually got some degree of stainless steel involved, but I think this one can be nylon mesh, which means that it's not got any stainless steel involved.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm getting back to the carbon. Let me find it here. Where do I find it? Search for products. Because it's a bloody good deal. And this is where I buy my UV products from as well.
Yeah.
Activated carbon granules. I buy it. It looks like that. 1 bucket. You can buy a 21 litre, 10 kilo bucket for $100 exactly.
Yeah. Right. That's pretty good.
It's bloody good. Considering if you go to the pet store and you buy a 1 litre of it, it's like $30 or $40.
Yeah, I think I bought a kilo for $30.
You can buy 15 kilos for $150 in a sack. I chose to get the one with a bucket because I like having buckets.
Yeah,
Anyway,
right.
so that's my shout out. And they've also got, this might be of use to you, heating and cooling. They've got all the Shago heaters set up, and with the thermostats and the probes and things. The Shagos, the titanium ones that don't have the inbuilt thermostat, they're just set to a 300 or a 600.
Yeah.
And then I think when you go up to, like, that's the 600. I think when you go up to the increments of 1200, 1800, they're just multiples of the 600. But you can see the price tag's pretty up there.
Yeah.
But a 300 watt heater, $140.
Yeah.
600 watt, 180. You say you're using 1,000 watt heaters. Where were you getting? What were they?
eBay's.
You love your eBays, don't you?
Yeah, and they're only like, I think they might have been $60, and I've had them for years now. I run them all on timers too. I don't just let them run them 24/7, so they can't overheat.
Yeah.
So they won't fail that way.
I like to stick them on an Inkbird. Have you got Inkbirds at all?
No.
They're the temperature controllers. You can get ones that are they're like an external thermostat with a probe, and there's 2 ports on them. You can they're one's for cooling and one's for heating. So you can plug your heaters or the power board of heaters into the heating section, and either a chiller or a bunch of cooling fans into the cooling section. The other thing, mate, that might be of interest to you are the Pentair UV sterilizers. I don't know if that's up your alley at all.
I do actually have UV stereo. I've got to install one on my big tank, but I do have one on the Planet tank.
Yeah. Well, these Pentair ones are the bee's knees. That's where I bought mine from. They're not cheap, but, you know.
How much are they? I can't really see.
I've got a 120 watt one, and it's $1,800.
Holy cow! Yeah.
And then a 150 watt one, which is about the one I should have, is about 1,950. But but the thing about them is that they're beasts. Like they stand up to your nipples. Maybe not your nipples, maybe mine. And
maybe that should be a sponsor.
Mate, I love your idea. Can you send them a message for me? Because I don't want to do it. I feel too bad. And they've got a chart here for people who are in saltwater land and they're worried about white spot. You can see the white spot dose, which is your flow through, your literage per minute that you should be pumping through them, as opposed to a standard dose, which is for algae control. You can see the algae control is a lot faster flow rate than the white spot dose. Anyway, so that's fresh by design. Do you have much of a problem with white spot or whatnot in freshwater stuff?
No, not really. I haven't had white spot for years and years. Not really.
Yeah. We've got an interesting comment here from Gill's Fish Room. This is turning into an episode of the morning show. We're looking at massage chairs and cheap home loans. And I'm thinking we're looking at a knife set. One of those sharp steak knife sets that you get for just checking for questions. Now, Craig Perry, question was about a water change. All right, here we go. If rainbow fish live from different locations, fight. What? Craig, what's your question, buddy? It was about doing a water change, but he hasn't really answered the question. So you do, I'm assuming you just suck it out with a siphon and dump it back in with a hose. Is that right?
Yeah, I've got gutters on the house here with the shed where I can run them out the back. And my 10-footer's got a bulkhead about 3/4 of the way down the tank, and I just turn a valve and pumps it outside.
Yeah.
And one thing here's a tip for everyone. When you got sumps, run a drain so you don't overflow your tanks. All my sumps have got an overflow and it just goes outside. So if I leave a tap on or something, it won't flood my shed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a good backup to have. And lately I've been using barrels, like I said, and heating water and doing it that way. And it's the first time I've flooded my shed probably 10 times by doing that, because I keep forgetting to turn the hose off and it just overfills the barrel.
Yeah. Yeah. I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah.
And it also makes automatic water changes for freshwater easy, because you just have a solenoid valve and it can go to a garden irrigation control, and it just pumps water in and just goes through the system down to the sump and just out.
Yeah.
So you can just do a flush through once. Have you ever thought about doing that? If you got drilled sumps, why don't you do that?
As in flush from the back through?
No, you just have a hose draped over the top end of the tank, a bit of plumbing, and on it and further back near your mains water supply, whatever that might be, you got a solenoid valve, which is like a garden irrigation. Do you know what I mean by a solenoid valve?
Yeah.
Couple of wires sticking out the top. So it's just an automatic valve as opposed to turning a tap. It's a signal that comes through to open the valve up for water to go through.
And that
signal just goes back to an irrigation controller like you use on a nursery.
I've never really thought. I have, but I'd just rather do it myself, to be honest. It's not a big deal.
Well, it helps if you got to suck out a fair few large turds, do you?
Yeah, then I just use like a 19mm hose and just suck a bit of that out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nothing too bad. Like the maintenance on them isn't that bad, really.
Yeah. Senior Ding Dong seconds that the Pentair UVs are great. I agree completely. Dosage data is brilliant. You don't get much the way of dosage data when it comes to other UVs. I think they're imported from the States, which is great. Exactly correct. You want green water algae fixed up. You can have a higher flow because the organism is a lot smaller. Contact time can be faster. White spot is larger, needs to be slower. And they got questions about air. All right, mate, I think we should leave it there. I don't think we've got any more questions out there. I think, I got
one more shout out.
Oh, you're doing my head in. Hang on.
I could.
Righto.
I'll give Gil a shout out.
Go, Gil.
He's I took a lot of his advice with that, like a battery backup system, and I've sort of running the same thing as him.
Yep.
And that's a great idea. That, like running battery with an automatic turnover switch, if the power goes off, the energy will click over and go straight to battery, so everything still gets air and everything still keeps running with the power outage.
So where do you get, or how did you build it, or is this something that you can buy off the shelf?
You can buy a Renogy. It's like I got a 1,000-watt inverter that runs 240 and 12 volt into it, and then when the 240 cuts out, it'll just go to 12 volt straight away.
Where do you buy it from?
Online. Like I think J-Car might sell them. A lot of places sell them.
And is it something that you plug the air pumps and things into from extension leads or whatever, or what do you do?
Well, yeah, you can just plug your air pump into it. It's like an inverter, like a 12-volt inverter. I just have my pump plugged into it, but it'll primarily take 240 power, and as soon as it loses 240, it'll just go to 12 volt. As long as you've got a battery hooked up to it, it'll run that battery power. It's great.
So the air pumps. So this is for emergency. Yeah. So you're using air pumps.
If I lose power in the middle of the night, I don't have to get up, run down the back, and check on tanks. It'll still be pumping as long as I've got air lines to all these tanks. So I'll just still be pumping air to them.
Okay. So all your return pumps stop working, obviously.
Yeah.
But you've got air stones in each of the tanks, have you?
Yeah, and I think I've even got a wave maker in the 10-footer that's running off it.
And the air pump that is, because I'm used to like a Halia, like a big V40 or V60.
Yeah, that's what I got.
But they're 240 though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It runs an inverter.
Oh, you plug that into the inverter, which is
there's the Halia.
Yeah.
And then here's your Renogy inverter, 1,000-watt.
Okay.
And then I've got a battery down here that's plugged into. So it's using 240 at the moment. Until the 240's cut off, then it'll go straight to battery power. And so there's a power plug in the top of it.
Okay. So the inverter is taking the battery power, the 12 volt, and then converting it to 240 for the air pump to use in a blackout.
Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, and that's how I got that off Gil, that idea, and it works great.
What sort of time frame do you get? What sort of battery are you using, and what sort of time frame?
I think that's just a lead acid 120 amp hour, but I did have two on there. I've just taken one off, and it'll last. I've had power outages for a fair while, over a day, and it's lasted. And I have solar plugged into it from my roof, a solar panel, and it tops it up.
I was about to ask, do you have to make sure the battery's like?
Yeah, well, you just have I got a battery charger that's on a timer that'll come on through the day and charge it, keep it topped up, and as well as solar plugged into it, and the solar keeps it charged up, so it's always sitting charged.
Okay.
Just a good little backup thing to have.
Yeah, and how much cost? Is it costly? What's it?
Nah, not really. The battery might cost you a few $100s, but I think the Renogy thing might be $200. Probably $500 to get away with it.
Yeah, okay, and that's not a lot considering when you've got a lot of fish in your room.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
The batteries, they're like, what do they call them? Deep cycle batteries for
yeah, you can get dearer lithium ones, but the lead acid ones are pretty cheap still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something that I've been very slack with. I've got a generator, but I've been very slack with backup power because I work from home, and so I'm generally home most of the time. But of course, you're not home all the time. But I've sort of been a bit slack like that. And we do get pretty shitty power outages around New South Wales. I don't know why.
Yeah. Like I've lost power for a few days before, and that helped out heaps. Then I could just charge the battery up off the generator. But then when I got the house plugged now, I just run the whole house off the generator, and I can run everything.
You can get something similar where when there's a power outage, your entire house just switches across to the generator. But
yeah.
But that can't be like a pull start bloody petrol generator.
No.
It must be gas generator.
Yeah, it's all electric. Yeah, I think a friend of mine runs solar on his house, and when his solar panels get depleted, it just starts up automatically, and it'll start the generator and charge them back up.
Yeah. So Senor Ding Dong says like a golf cart battery. I think they're big. A deep cycle batteries for like what, boats or something, tractors.
Oh, for caravans, full drives, like camping.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Things that have to deliver energy for a long while without being charged.
And they can deplete all the way down and be charged back up. Not like a car battery. They don't like that.
So on that note, I had to run 2 tanks off my car for 6 hours last month for a works job. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, mate. Well, we're gonna finish up.
Yeah, I need to get to bed.
Before we finish up, there is a bit of a closing tradition. I like to call it
white milk. White.
Shaun, a previous guest has left a question for you without knowing who you are or what you keep. And your question is, why do you think that some humans are so emotionally drawn to aquarium life?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. It's probably some form of like autism or something like that. I don't know.
Mate,
ADHD, I don't know. I've probably got all that. It's probably something like that.
I said it last week. I reckon because I don't know if you've noticed that people that are really stick with the aquarium hobby for life, we're all a bit quirky, aren't we?
Yeah.
There's always there's something going on up there, which is just a bit different to someone that wants to go and play footy or play basketball or something.
Yeah, it is. I don't know. It's a weird thing to answer. I don't know. There has to be something wrong with us.
But there's definitely something to be said about sitting in front of a fish tank and just looking at fish.
Yeah, definitely.
So maybe that's the calming factor for your autistic brain, Shaun.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, get down here. It's a bit peaceful, and I don't know. My wife's into all the animals, so she has all the farm animals, and I've got just the fish. So
yeah. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Don't hesitate to call in and visit me when you're next up this way as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't get there last time. I will for sure next time.
Yeah, that's all good, mate. And just hang tight for a sec. For everybody out there, thank you very much for joining myself and Grubby tonight for another meeting.
FG Aquariums on Instagram.
Oh, there you go. So, Shaun, if someone wants to get in contact with you and ask further questions, how would they do so?
Yeah, I've got an Instagram for me fish. It's SG Aquariums.
Short for Shaun Grubb Aquariums. There you go.
Yeah.
So you reach out and ask questions there. And if everybody in the YouTube video that is watching this somewhere down the line has questions, pop those into the comments of the YouTube video. And if I can't answer them, I'll reach out to Shaun and I'll answer them that way for you. For Funkalicious, I can see you tomorrow at the plumbing store. Give me about 9 o'clock or something like that. Maybe text me first once you've finished up with your boys. Quade, good night. And for everybody out there, hang tight. I might be taking a couple of week sojourn from the Sunday live streams because I need to get stuck into some videos. I've got so many videos up my sleeve and I'm getting behind. So I will keep you updated with that. But I like the idea of getting Paul Stingray on, though. That's interesting. I think he'd be a very interesting fellow to have on. Maybe you can put in a good word for me, mate. Uh-oh. He's lost all volume.
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear.
Yeah.
All right, everyone out there, good night. Sleep tight. I'll catch you later. Stay there, mate.